ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
It's football season, and Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for all the action on the gridiron. With a game-changing rewards program, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats ensures that every fan can catch their favorite teams and players in action. Vivid Seats has you covered with deals that cater to every football enthusiast. And all tickets come back by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Let's go. It's time for Sedano and Cap.
A little sabor, and we're going to just nosh.
It is George Sedano. It is Scott Kaplan. Sedano and Cap is on.
I'm going to have to say respectfully, I'm going to disagree.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know.
The LA Afternoon Drive takeover.
He likes to lay the wood.
Yeah. You say Kikuchi.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year.
Christopher can go to hell.
Oh, nothing worse than the horse. Nah, man, black don't crack.
Benjamin Pratt is like, how do you say his name? Asminger?
Asminger. Hey, these Hard Knocks guys are all over me right now. It's like I'm in back in Dayton. You are a bit killer.
Because you got to talk about sperm.
Here we go.
You don't know. You don't know. And you know why you don't know? Because you're gutless, Andy. You're gutless.
Sedano and Cap.
God, I'm going to melt you.
You singing today, Greg? I'm in the building, y'all. Look at my shirt, kiddos. What up, Greg?
What's up, Click?
How are you, bro?
How are you, man? We haven't actually talked in a little while.
It's been a long time since we were on the mic at once
at
in the same place
time.
and the same dang on time. The big CY, Greg Bergman, filling in for Sedano and Cap here on a Wednesday. We got a lot going on, not just in sports, but in town as well.
It's a great time right now.
A great time. I prefer this October-November period to the April period, which is a little different because that's when the NBA is getting intense. Mm-hmm. That's when baseball is starting. That's when other things are kicking off. Some people prefer that particular portion. I prefer the sports equinox that happens in the fall.
Yeah, this is what's happening. The sports equinox actually happens on Monday next week.
It's
all
coming up.
4 major sports are playing on the exact same day, Monday next week.
That is
the
crazy
traffic
to me.
equinox is going to happen on Friday.
So let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
That's what I wanted to get to start things with.
Boy.
So you mentioned that you're going to Dodger Stadium on Friday.
Yeah, I got to figure this out.
What is your typical plan, Gregory, as far as what you do to get in and get out? And what is your timing on that? Are you just somebody that sacrifices the day because you just don't want to stress about it?
No, so what I normally do, I get off the air at 3:15,
Yeah.
and then I will just get in my car and I'll drive up there. That's a normal time because then I can get in there 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes, whatever it takes.
Sure.
And I can park in the GA and I'm good. If I leave at 3:15, I'm not getting in till 5:15. 5 or 6 even. It's going to take a long time. This traffic is going to be so bad with all the stuff that's going on around here and everybody trying to get into a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. It's going to be like Shohei bobblehead night.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. So what's the plan going to be? Are you Ubering? Are you going to do that express deal from Union Station?
No, I think I'm going to Uber to like a mile away, like to the bottom of Vin Scully and Sunset, somewhere around there, and just walk from there.
Oof. That's an uphill hike.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. At least I'll get up there faster than if I was in a car.
You're doing this solo?
No, my girlfriend's coming with me.
Are you sure that she is on board with this plan?
It was her idea.
Okay, I'm just
at that point, it was her idea.
Okay, because the reason why I don't like to do that, and I always want to leave, if I'm gonna walk, it's gonna be at the end, is because I don't like gassing out energy-wise before I ever even get to the ballpark. And walking uphill, you just don't know what's gonna happen. Not that it's that tough, but you don't know how many people there's gonna be. I wish you luck on that journey, my friend.
How are you getting there?
I'm probably just gonna Uber, but I'm also gonna go straight from the TV studio there.
Like 1 o'clock?
Yeah, so the media gates open at 5 o'clock game 5 hours before. So they'll probably open at 11 because it's the World Series. They typically go 6. So I'm just going to go straight there because otherwise you get mixed up in the parking situation.
No, you don't want to do that.
Oh,
Well, I was going to say, can't you just have like the Uber drop you off at like the gate so you don't have to wait in that big long line?
You still have to wait in that big long line to get to the gate.
Yeah.
Oh, well then, to Greg's point.
Oh, man.
Based on the last time I went to that game with Beto where we ended up parking like in the skyscrapers, I think that I would probably do the same thing as you because I'd rather be walking and moving than sitting in a car just sitting still. And then it's racking up.
That drives me crazy, by the way. Like, I'm totally with you, Linz. Last game I went to, I walked out. I walked down Sunset past all those car auto spots and to that place I was telling you about, and I just waited because I was like, sitting in a car behind other cars with just brake lights drives me insane.
No,
cannot do it.
It's the worst feeling in the world. And you kind of mentioned it, Lindsay. There's a bunch of other things that are happening around here.
Yeah.
There is the USC Rutgers game that is happening at the
Big, huge matchup.
Well, for USC, it kind of is.
We'll get to that.
It's must win.
It is in fact must
so
win.
there's that. There's a game. There's a Laker game here.
Laker game
so
here. They play the Suns, right?
They play the Suns. So that's another thing that's happening right around downtown. And is there something else that's happening?
I believe there's a concert at what did they name this theater? They always change the name of it.
I don't know the name of the theater at this
The
current
Peacock.
date.
The Peacock Theater.
There's a concert also at the Forum, the Kia Forum as well.
Really? The Kia Forum has one. I think the Clippers are maybe
Are the
playing
Clips
also.
playing at home as well?
I think no. There's a
tonight.
concert at the Intuit Dome.
There's a concert.
There's a concert at the Intuit
Who
Dome.
is?
At least that's a little bit further away.
But that still affects everything.
But even downtown, though, will still be kind of it's gonna be a mess.
Brutal.
And you'll have all those people that were in town for the Rams game tomorrow night. They're trying to get out of town tomorrow or Friday, or
I'm trying to think
versa.
about what my exit strategy is going to be for the game on Friday. That's just going to be
You
one
can't
of those
leave
where
early.
I'm not leaving early, but I'm saying like the question is like if I'm not specifically writing on the day, do I try to get out as soon as the game ends, or do I wait another effectively 2 hours until it clears out? You know what I'm saying?
It will probably still be busy 2 hours afterwards.
Probably will. It probably
but
will.
I would just leave. I would leave if you want to wait 2 hours and go down and listen to Dave talk afterwards, or
No, I'm
listen
gonna
to
do
Aaron
all
Boone
that.
talk
Yeah.
after. Then wait the 2 hours.
I'm going to do all that. I'm probably going to do that. That's because the other thing is that the Uber situation there, are you kidding me?
No. Don't
Have
go
you
into
done
Uber.
that?
No, I've done it once,
Have
and
you
I'll
done that?
never ever do it again.
Have you done that, D?
No.
I haven't done it in a couple years, but I do remember the first time I did it. It was like waiting in line at Disneyland for like the longest ride ever.
Yes.
It is total Mad Max because they have a little side lot next to where you come up on Vin Scully entrance or whatever, the Sunset entrance. And like people just mill around. People are out there burning heaters. They got pens. They're doing all sorts of stuff. There's kids around. I'm just like, what? It's like a holding pen for people with cars on four sides of you. It is, in fact, quite dangerous. If I'm being, in fact, quite real. It's weird. But
I'm not sure what's worse, waiting in line for the Uber over there or waiting in line for the bus/shuttle from the stadium over to Union Station. Those are equally pretty bad.
None of it is good in any sense to do that. If you're going to do it right, the only way, if you do drive in, you get GA, you try and park as close to one of the exits as possible, and you face out. You don't go in, you face out. You go as soon as last pitch, walk to your car, and get right out. That's the only way to get out in a timely manner, but I don't know if you can do it in this game.
I don't think timely manner is a real issue. Like, that's just not happening. Did you watch that video of I think, what station was it? Some station today. It's a quick 25-minute walk from Dodger Stadium to the Metro downtown, and they walk it, like, with the camera on it.
I'd rather walk it than try that bus thing.
Well, first of all, it ain't 25 minutes. It's longer than that, for sure.
I mean, if you're walking at a nice, brisk pace, it could be okay.
Right, but if you're hammered, stumbling out
you're
of
stumbling and throwing
the
up on the
low
side,
section,
then it's an hour.
It's going to be a while. Like, there's no world in which that takes you 25 minutes unless you're an Olympic athlete. But I would consider it. I would definitely consider it, Linz. That'd be a good bit. If somebody goes,
and
to
do
walk it and see what happens on the way.
Oh, I'm walking. I'm walking down that hill for sure and getting an Uber.
Well, we need you to wear like a GoPro or something.
Yeah, sorry. Seriously. I'm
Time
in the left field loge.
Left field loge. Okay, I like the loge section.
Yeah,
loge is solid.
By the foul pole.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a far distance, but that's all right. That's okay. I'm okay. You're in the building for a World Series game. That's all that matters.
By the way,
yes.
Update on the events this weekend at the Intuit Dome. We've got the David Gilmour concert, which I would totally go to.
No idea who that person is.
From Pink Floyd.
Oh, nice.
Okay. And then at the Kia Forum, you've got Jeff Lynne's ELO, Electric Light Orchestra.
I love ELO.
That's cool.
I'd go to that too.
So wait, absolutely go to
Intuit
ELO.
and the Forum are doing events same night?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a regular
That's
thing they're going to be
insanity.
doing?
Probably.
I guess so.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some sort of
by
money.
the way,
parking issue.
Across the street. I don't know if there's anything at SoFi. They have a concert or something the day after.
They go triple decker at SoFi Intuit. And
think about it.
that's a lot.
Cosm across the street from that will have a Dodgers watch party.
Is that right?
That is absolutely happening, yes. So that means that there's things happening at every single building around downtown LA and Inglewood.
Have you been to the Intuit Dome yet?
I've not.
Has anybody here been to the Intuit Dome yet? I went, yeah.
Time out. They do have something at SoFi, which Jorge reminded me. They have high school football.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, that's not tough. That's not
no,
bad.
East LA Classic.
I get it.
Yeah.
But what I'm
no,
saying is,
Black Eyed Peas are doing the halftime show of that.
It's a big deal. It's the East LA Classic.
Doesn't matter.
The Upper Bowl's not even going to be open for that. I'm just saying that from a legitimate numbers standpoint,
that's
the
still
one
cars.
thing you could have in SoFi, I think, would be a high school game. Because if you got a Rams game or whatever there, you're totally screwed. Like, you just can't do that.
That's still more cars going to the exact same area.
Probably get like 10,000 people at that game, no?
That seems rather chaotic.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
So good luck.
The vendors are going to make
public
a ton
transportation.
of cash. That's where you
right.
get the hustle man on. That's the weekend. You got 3 different events. You should be out there with a table selling T-shirts.
Should be Airbnb in my apartment
with what?
For the weekend, you know?
One on your head. All right, we got a lot to get to today. Obviously, Corporate Greg was in the building for the Lakers. Fernando Valenzuela passed. Everything that's happening with the World Series. Intense sports weekend. This is what we live for. Corporate Greg, the Big CY, in for Sedano and Kap on ESPN 710 Los Angeles.
The black and gold are back in the playoffs, and ESPN LA wants you to be there too. LAFC are making a run at their 3rd straight MLS Cup final, and the playoff run starts Sunday.
Congratulations, Sergi. Good luck in the playoffs.
Thanks so much. Let's go. Oh! Listen Friday during Travis and DeMarco and Mason in Ireland for your chance to win tickets.
BMO Stadium is rocking for the black and gold.
LAFC Playoff Ticket Friday on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Travis.
And DeMarco.
Hey, accidents can be shocking, devastating, and difficult to deal with, which is why you should never deal with them alone and have family on your side.
Joseph S. Normand and his trusted team are family, and they're here to help you achieve the maximum compensation you deserve.
You know, when my son was in an accident, we called Joseph at 213-747-2000, and he was able to help.
You have many choices in a legal team, but family always comes first.
Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand.
Hey guys, it's Cappy here, and let me talk to you about this issue of dealing with your homeowner's insurance. So your home floods, right? You have a big giant flood at your house, and you realize that the insurance adjuster is trying to pay you so little that you won't be able to repair the damage. That is when you call Avner Gatt. Avner Gatt is a public insurance adjuster who is on your side. Look, you can try and negotiate with the insurance company yourself. I've tried. You're going to find out very quickly it is not that simple. Avner Gatt and his team negotiate on your behalf to make sure you're getting the best possible outcome, not the insurance company. He and his team have been dealing with insurance companies for so many years. It's all they do. They've got the experience. They've got the industry know-how that you need on your side. Now, some of these folks used to work for insurance companies before they joined Avner's team. And Avner Gatt himself has 20 years of experience in this industry. Avner Gatt has one of the largest teams of professional, licensed public adjusters in California. And yes, the size is important. Avner has a unique winning recipe for handling homeowners' insurance claims. No one, and I mean no one, messes around with Avner Gatt and his team. Call Avner Gatt, 818-917-5256. 818-917-5256 or visit AvnerGatt.com. That's AVNERGAT, AvnerGatt.com. You call Avner Gatt, 818-917-5256. Avner takes the call himself. Hello!
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installation with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, appointment. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
Walks around like a little puppy dog.
On 710 ESPN.
Did you see this movie? Did you have any interest in seeing this movie?
What movie?
It's the what's her name? Why can't I think of her name? Lindsay, help me out. Do you know what's the name of this actress, this singer?
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse. Yeah, this is an Amy Winehouse movie.
Oh, just like a biopic?
Yeah, biopic.
No interest in seeing that.
Yeah, I had no interest in seeing it.
Did you watch it though?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Because
I watched it.
The actress looked terrible.
Yeah.
Didn't look
Who was
anything
it?
like her.
She wasn't anyone like super famous.
No, and she just wasn't.
It was.
She didn't
It was.
look like it.
I didn't finish it.
She seemed like as a person, Amy Winehouse was crazy talented and also had a bunch of demons. But the fact is, could not do her justice at all.
Yeah, there's too many biopics.
There is
in general, and some people like. To me, the biopic standard is not necessarily about your level of fame. It's about the quality of your story, to your point. And I do think that Winehouse clearly had a very high quality story, but she was also just a much better musician than a lot of people sort of realize. And so I think your first step there is you got to find somebody that can really blow, you know what I'm saying, in terms of their vocal skills. And that's hard enough. Never mind matching the look, never mind matching the attitude. Like, Amy Winehouse was loved across the music industry because she worked with so many different types of artists.
Right.
And, like, that's really hard to do. I did not see that. Who made that? Do we know? When was that? When did that come out?
Last year
Oh,
at
this
some
is
point.
recent.
It might have been in this.
Okay.
It might have even been this year at some point. I think
It's
it was.
called Fade to Black.
Fade to Black. Yeah, it looked
Okay, yeah, that's a
absolutely
little
horrendous.
derivative.
And I
It was-
usually like biopics, especially
Sure.
things about musicians, but
It was one that like I started it just because I had nothing else to watch, and it happened to be like on Hulu or whatever it was, and I didn't finish it because it was just nah.
it just wasn't very good. And you
Nah.
like all those types of things for the most
I mean,
part, too.
to Clinton's point, I'm not a huge fan of biopics because they rarely ever come close to like.
The experience
Yes.
of being there.
And
yeah.
I would rather, as you guys know, I'd rather watch the documentary.
Yeah, I know.
Of course. But
The other thing about
Ray was
this-
good.
The
and-
other thing about this too, which is something that is a very unfortunate part about aging in a different way, is that like some of these things I'm like, dude, I remember this. I don't need a biopic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was there. I was a
Sure.
big fan, and like sometimes that's another hard hurdle to overcome, is that if whatever you're presenting does not either take me back to what it felt like to be there or teach me something I don't know, I kind of don't need it. You know what I mean? Because everything is documented now. Like if I really wanted to go watch Amy Winehouse concerts, I probably could.
Right.
Like
that's,
they're online.
That's why I don't watch a lot of documentaries, because most of them are like the ones that just came out. There's a lot of ones like the Derek Jeter one that looked absolutely terrible. I don't want to watch that because I lived through that. A lot of the whole things that happened, like Magic Johnson had one. Had no interest in that because
That
I
one
saw
was
his
good.
whole story. Was
Yeah.
it good? I'm
Yeah.
sure it was fine.
There's
by
a lot
him.
of times,
It was
even
by
if there's
him.
one little nugget that you learn that you're like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
One
That one
little
was
nugget.
actually, I watched that one. That
I
was
thought it was
good.
good.
No, I'm not watching it for one
The description
little
for
nugget.
that I remember saying was that was like looking through an old album of when your parents were young,
Mm-hmm.
and like that was the vibe I got from that one. But anyway, that aside, movies aside, it was a rough day in Los Angeles in terms of remembering a legend, Fernando Valenzuela, El Toro. Incredible screwball lefty guy. Obviously, one of the best pitchers that the Dodgers have ever seen from a culture standpoint past. And the entire day, Greg, has been about people remembering stories of Fernando and what he did and what he was like. Never mind the baseball. I don't know if you've talked about it on the air yet today because I just walked in before the show. Where were you when you found out in terms of your mindset, not just where you were?
So I was at the Laker game. I was sitting in the suite with Chris Morales and Scott Kaplan and everybody. We just saw it, and I was like, "Oh wow, this just happened." Stepha Alexander was in there. Also, she had to step away from the room for a little bit just because she became overwhelmed. Which I understand. This is what the cultural impact that he had on this city, it just cannot be understated. The fact of the matter was that when Chavez Ravine was, and I talked about this on Mason Island, and it's been talked about a bunch. But when Chavez Ravine was built, a lot of Mexican Americans were all living around that area, and they all got pushed out. And they hated the Dodgers for that. They hated Chavez Ravine. They hated everything about it. And then they didn't really get him back. The Dodgers didn't get them back until Fernando Valenzuela. Fernando was what brought back the Mexican community to Dodger Stadium and to be beloved by the Dodgers. And now, if you go to Dodger Stadium, it is very full with Mexican Americans because that's what they resonate with, and it all comes from Fernando Valenzuela. And so you cannot understate the amount of the impact he had outside of the game itself,
Locally and globally. And by globally, I mean internationally. That was so important because, I remember I tweeted this when I was at the game where they honored him. Beto and I went. Beto was there anyway. Beto, thank God he was there, and God bless him for it. He introduced me to Fernando before the game. And it was an interesting situation because, everybody's there. Everybody's really excited. And Fernando's just sitting there like he does every game before he's on his portion of the Spanish broadcast, just eating a salad.
Yeah.
Guy's watching Mexican League highlights on his phone. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, you're about to be honored like nobody ever has been literally by this franchise, and he's just cool as a cucumber watching baseball from his home country. That was one sort of personal thing. But I think what you bring up is just such an interesting point on so many different levels for me because, displacement to build a ballpark, it seems like a very sort of modern problem. It's something we think about now because we are, as younger people, kind of acclimated to the idea of, oh, guess what? They tore all this down and built a ballpark. But then there wasn't the same voices for those communities.
50s.
Nobody paid attention to stuff like that. And for those of you who need a sort of a corollary, the idea of Zoot Suit Riots, that song? That is all in the same general world of what was happening at Chavez Ravine. There used to be a Navy base there. People were getting beat up, blah, blah, blah. Like, there was real historical stuff well beyond baseball that was affiliated with that site. If you've never read the book Stealing Home, it's great. It's about all of this. But when you really take all that in, and we talked earlier when we were in Crosstalk about the idea that they actually honored him before he passed.
Which is the right thing to do.
Which was absolutely the right thing to do. Like, I just feel so much better, as good as one can feel about a legend moving on and making the transition, that this wasn't bungled from a PR standpoint because we know what the origin story is of the facility to begin with.
Yeah, there's so many times that so many franchises do fumble that bag consistently. Yeah. I mean, I don't have examples for it, but you can see
but there's a lot of things like that.
Time.
I come from a town where teams do that every other day.
I was actually probably going to go towards Washington
exactly,
because those are the types of things that happen over there, and it's consistent. So the fact that the Dodgers did the right thing, and he didn't even seem to be sick at that time. I don't know if he was. Maybe he has been for a while, but the family has been very close to the vest. Didn't want to say anything. But for the fact of the matter is, it seemed like he was fine. He was doing games. It happened earlier this year. Just a couple of weeks ago, he was in the booth doing a game, and he just got up and he left. Like because something happened, and then he went back home to Mexico, and he was kind of just by himself and just doing his thing for a while until we just found out about this. It was very, very weird how the whole thing happened. So I really feel for the Valenzuela family, for the city of LA, everybody that loved him the way that just from his fandom, from just knowing him, or just from meeting him. I really feel bad for everyone.
No, class guy all around. And what I was going to bring up is that I remember on the day that I was there, I was sort of live tweeting through it as I tend to do, taking pictures of people in the concourse. People had on various Valenzuela jerseys between the Dodgers, between Team Mexico. Not that he ever played for Team Mexico, but that's what they were representing because that's become a thing now. And I noted, I said, guys, Fernando Valenzuela is easily the most famous Los Angeles Dodger there is. Like, period. And people were coming at me like I was crazy. And I was like,
Sandy Koufax, Clayton Kershaw, Don Drysdale.
As famous as Fernando Valenzuela. And that's fine. And I was trying to get the point across. I said, I don't think you all understand. If you're from LA, okay, there are different Dodger discussions. If you're not, there's Fernando. Right. And then everybody else as far as people that played in Los Angeles. And that is a credit to him and the team. So when you think about the baseball of Major League Baseball moving west, coming from Brooklyn, going to LA couldn't really cut it on its own, so they brought a team to San Francisco, recreating that rivalry. And then you think of the time that passed of what baseball was. And then you think of how necessary it was for Fernando not just to solidify the Mexican fan base here, but period.
In general.
Across the globe, in general, for Latinos, for Mexicans. The timing could not have been more excellent. Never mind his skill set. Never mind his affable personality. Man, there will not be another Fernando Valenzuela because there cannot be. Those changes were already made, Greg, and the society and the culture has already been affected in a way where you can't imagine what it was like had Fernando Mania not happened.
And how it happened was just so crazy too. He comes in his rookie year, and he pitched a couple of times in relief appearances in 1980, but in 1981 he came out and he was just amazing. Just think of the accolades just real fast. All-Star. He won the Cy Young. He was 5th in MVP voting. He won the Rookie of the Year. He was a Silver Slugger, which, by the way, he was twice a Silver Slugger. Right. He had 11 complete games. For those of you who don't know what
that means, it's the best batter at your position. And there's a pitcher, that means you can mash.
Right, right. And he did it twice, which does not happen very often. But either way, he had complete games. He had. I heard Travis talk about it earlier this morning that in his 11-year career with the Dodgers, he had 107 complete games.
That's crazy.
That's just about 10 a year when there was 28 total complete games this year.
That reminds me of Vida Blue. You see these guys' records, and you're like, how did you throw 150 complete games? That's insane. But he did it when it mattered, too. He did it in the playoffs. His line from 81 in the playoffs is insane. If you go back to it, I think he was 3. I'm just doing this from memory. Not that I have this on hand. Memory because I read it earlier. Right. He was 3-1, 2.21 ERA, and threw out 4 different outings of more than 8 innings, one of which was a complete game in Game 3. Like, nobody, literally, on the franchise right now is even allowed to do that, never mind capable of achieving it.
No one gets to anywhere near that. There was one Dodger this year that had a complete game. One total. Wow. Do you even there's no way you can even guess who it was. No. It was Gavin Stone.
Okay.
Gavin Stone had the only complete game for the Dodgers this year. That's how rare these types of things are.
Did they win the game?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's not, of course. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not.
I'd venture to guess how many complete games actually was lost by any of these guys we've just named. But that's
Jeff Weaver one time had a complete game. Or Jared Weaver had it for the Angels against the Dodgers. The Dodgers won 1-0, and he had Jared Weaver had a no-hitter.
He had a no-hitter. Yeah, you can lose a no-hitter. It's possible. But no, the days of the complete game, the days of guys who are just workhorses, they're so over. And from a baseball standpoint, it's one thing. For Fernando Valenzuela, though, that guy was so much bigger than the game. And I implore everybody who's a Dodgers fan to just be grateful of the fact that he existed at all. So when you talk about things, and I'm not trying to start an argument here, but when you talk about things like rings versus experiences, Fernando is the example of the experience you just cannot recreate because it's worth more, frankly, than what a championship is to a lot of people.
When you have that cultural impact that changes the entire game, changes the city, changes the team, and how the city looks at him, that is more. That's a bigger deal than anything that you can ever bring in. And also, he got a ring too. So
absolutely, he did get a ring, and he also wore gold rimmed glasses when he threw a no hitter. You ain't done that. I'm Clinton Yates. He's Greg Bergman.
Looking at the camera.
This is Sedano and Kap on ESPN 710 Los Angeles. I'm television's Clinton Yates. Of course, I look at the camera.
Friday night, your USC Trojans are back at the Coliseum as they take on the Rutgers.
Hey, football fans, there is nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. But Stella Rosa wants to make it even sweeter and hook you up with the chance to win an experience to the biggest game of the college football season. You could win 2 tickets to the game, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. Head over to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter the Dream Ticket Sweepstakes presented by Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Please celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
Change in your life. Whatever your reason is for selling, Seller's Advantage has a custom solution for your needs. They'll make you a competitive cash offer with no repairs needed, and they can close in days. Seller's Advantage is the fastest and the most stress-free way to sell your home. No complicated closing process or contracts falling through. Seller's Advantage has been making sellers happy for decades, and they've got all the reviews to prove it. So call them today and get a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, or sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
This is the Rams Report. Here's Travis Rogers.
The Los Angeles Rams win their second game of the season, beating the Las Vegas Raiders 20-15 to improve to 2-4 on the season and keep their playoff hopes alive as they get ready to play on a short week Thursday night against the Minnesota Vikings coming up in just a few days. They did this one on the back of the defense, no question about it. The Rams with 4 takeaways against the Raiders, including a pair of interceptions from Jalen Jalen McCullough, who had the pick 6 against Green Bay a couple of weeks ago. He continues to be a big part of the Rams defense. And Kobe Durant with 2 separate turnovers as well. An interception which set up the Rams' first touchdown of the afternoon, and then a forced fumble that was scooped up by Cameron Curl and returned for the Rams' second touchdown of the afternoon to give that Rams defense a huge lift along the way, taking the ball away, something they've really struggled with through the early part of the season. With today's Rams Report, I'm Travis Rogers.
That's today's Rams Report on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Hey kids, Uncle Artie here from Perennial Law, here to tell you about a newer sponsorship deal with Matt Barnes, who has deep LA roots, former Bruin and pro basketball player for both LA teams.
If you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Perennial Law. And there's never any upfront fees. They collect when you collect. And for the record, their win-loss record puts them in the top of the standings. That's 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check the kickoff time first before showing up at the stadium.
What? The lot's full already? Final score of today's game. You said kickoff was at 3. It was last week.
That's not how it works, Bob. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
How is that related?
On 710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap, Bergman, and the Big CY. I like this song. This is your boy, what's this guy's name again?
Well, it's Lil Nas X.
Yeah, no, but what's
I'm not really a big fan of him, but Jack Harlow too.
Jack Harlow is who I'm. You don't like Lil Nas X?
You don't like either one of them?
What?
I like Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow's good.
That was the wrong way around on that answer. Lil Nas X is fantastic. Jack Harlow.
You don't like the style? What is it about him?
Yeah, it's a style.
Didn't he do something that was like blood on his shoes or something like that?
He's an entertainer.
When I went to the Kentucky Derby, it was when Harlow, who's from Louisville, was shooting his video for his song called Kentucky Derby at the Derby and at the hotel I was at. Weirdest experience ever.
Did you make it into the video?
Did I make it into the video? It was the strangest thing I'd ever seen. It was like women who were my age dropping off their nieces and daughters and in some cases granddaughters being like, my kid's going to be in a Drake video, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, get these people away from me. It was very weird on a lot of levels.
That seems
amazing.
very real. That's real talk.
Real talk, exactly. Speaking of, what's up, Linz?
So I was telling DeAndre earlier, and Greg, all you guys, I want to do this like real talk, because you know how we always have on Sedano and Kap, Cappy's always got his weird like middle-aged dad conundrums about like, man, I really had to go when I was at my neighbor's house. Usually
with my extra underpants.
Right. It usually involves like a bowel movement or, something
some
with
bodily function.
Right.
Yes.
Or maybe even something like about his flights that he can't, figure out how to do the thing on the app, whatever. So I have a bit of a conundrum here. So my nephew, who's 13, is like my best bud in the world. He's obsessed with Tyler, the Creator. That's his guy. He's obsessed with this artist.
He's great.
And like I kid you not, that is like his life is listening to his music. And so he does this festival every year at Dodger Stadium called Camp Flognaw, right? Yeah. And so I told Cameron he wanted nothing more than to go to this festival, and I said, if we can make it work and it's not too expensive and if the lineup's worth it, I will fly to Cleveland on the plane, pick you up, bring you back here. We'll go to the festival, and then I'll fly back with you. Because my sister was like, he's 13. He can't go on a plane by himself.
What?
Yes, he can.
Even though you can do the whole thing where it's gate to gate, I told her, fine. I'll fly, and I'll go pick him up, okay? So then they released the lineup like 2-3 days ago, and we decide, okay, it's worth it. We're going to go. We're going to go to this thing. So I tell my sister, I'm like, I'm going to book my flight. This is what I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. He's only going to have to miss 1 day of school. She's like, all right, well, let me talk to Brandon, her husband. She's like, let me talk to him, and I'll let you know. I want to make sure, he's comfortable with it. So then she texts me this morning and goes, I talked about it with Brandon, and we're just not comfortable with him being in a setting like that because he's only 13, and, I was like, well, what's the problem? She's
Let
like,
him
well,
live.
everyone's going to be, it's a festival. There's no seats. It's just going to be very chaotic. Everyone's going to be smoking weed and stuff and doing drugs.
Yeah, but that's anywhere else.
Yeah, like
right. And I was
down
like,
the street.
But he's going to be with me, and we're going to watch a show. We're going there for the concert, and it's a carnival theme. So it's,
okay.
it's,
I don't want to get too far into this, but I think this has as much to do with what they think of you.
Well, no.
If they think of,
that's a whole nother
conversation.
I mean,
well, listen,
that's
because if you listen, then today, ironically, he announces he's going on tour, and he's doing 2 shows here at Crypto. And I was like, well, what about that? Can I take him to that? And she goes, well, that I'd be more comfortable with.
I understand that.
Okay.
Because it's at Crypto, it's more controlled. He's going to be in a seat, and I feel like that's more appropriate for a kid his age.
Let me just tell you one thing real fast. They're going to be smoking weed inside of Crypto.
I know.
That's
I know.
happening.
I don't need
that
to.
happens
I'm not going to talk
at-
about
they
this.
are.
No.
That's not a.
And
So
I
it
think you
doesn't matter.
I don't disagree. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying about what they think about you. What I'm saying is festivals are a haul. Like it's a physical challenge. And so like what I'm saying is if you had said I'm going to do this, I would have said take somebody with the station with you just to keep up with this kid on a getting around at 13 that would tire. I would be done probably 2 hours into that, simply because the physical output of moving around at a festival is a lot. At Crypto, on the other hand, yes, you are inside. I don't even care what the people in there are doing.
Yeah.
I just mean the simple act of getting your steps in. We were just talking about how much of a problem it was to get out and out of Dodger Stadium. Like, I don't think you want to put that kind of physical output on yourself by yourself with the kid. Maybe you do. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that's one. Get your fluids, get to bed very early, 2 nights before, not just one, because it's going to be a haul. That's what I mean.
See, look, I went to Coachella.
Yeah.
And my very first time about 3 years ago, and it is a haul. It's a long weekend, but I'm telling you, there's ages from like 14 and up that you just see. Like, I mean, I feel like the age group and all that, like it shouldn't be a problem.
Skews young.
The excuse that it's too young.
It skews very young.
It's like that shouldn't be a problem. I get the understanding of the environment, people going crazy, drinking, smoking, whatever the case is. But like you said, you get that everywhere.
That's going to happen
anywhere.
regardless.
Does he go to public school? Like,
yes.
I mean, he knows what goes on in the world. No,
right.
Yeah, I don't think there's any problem with it. I mean, whether your sister and her husband don't want her to.
I think she hears the word festival, which I can guarantee. I know she's never been to any type of like festival aside from like a country jam, and I think she probably hears the word festival, and as like the parent of a teenage boy, she's probably like, ooh, I like that's like panicky. I don't know. Like there's a lot going on at those things.
Right.
So I was going to ask you, Greg, like your daughter is the same age as Cameron. Would you let her go to one versus the other, both or neither?
Yes, I would let her go to whatever as long as I was with her, and I would go with
what
her.
If,
and
what if like your brother was with her?
I would trust my brother. Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because she's at an age where she's about to be 13 in less than a month now. Jeez, that's so far, so close. Yeah, she's going to be a teenager. My God.
I mean, real life.
That's real talk. But I would be totally fine with her going and doing these things because I trust her and I trust my brother and I trust people that are going to be around her. She's at an age that, she wants to go do these things. She wants to go to a bunch of different concerts, and I would love to take her. But, I don't see. The other thing is, I've put her on a plane by herself already.
That's a separate matter that I'm actually more upset about.
Me too. That's the biggest thing of all this.
Like, what are we doing
can go
here?
on a plane.
She's very over. Obviously, you can see she's very over. They're very overprotective in general. Like, just, I don't know. I don't have a kid, so like I said, that's why I figured I'd ask, because I don't know. I was like, you do understand that nowadays you can literally watch him get on the plane, watch the plane take off, have a flight attendant keep an eye on him while he has his big red tag on him, and then walk him off the plane where I would then physically be there to pick him up, and they would not release him to anybody but me until I showed my ID. She still didn't like the idea of that.
No, that's ridiculous.
I know.
Let your kid live.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So I didn't know.
11 years old.
Right. I did it all the time when I was young.
This is not
Right.
that difficult.
I tried to argue with her, and then she was just like, So I was just like, I need to figure out if this is something that's like worth me arguing about or not.
I think the most
you
important
listen to the
thing
mom. Just
to
let her do it.
stress in why this works is because, there are points when you, as a younger person, there are developmental steps to socializing. Like if he's interested and wants to go and is otherwise a decent kid and doesn't want to go so he can have his first vape experience or whatever, like that's the thing you're supposed to learn about at that age. It's like going to summer camp. Like you're supposed to be around other people so you learn how the world works, not just through the lens of the bubble. I mean, that's kind of the fun part about growing up is that there are some things that you just can't otherwise experience unless you're there with your eyeballs and feeling it.
The bubble does the exact opposite of what you're wanting it to do.
Is that right?
By the
Is
way.
that what you found?
Well, yeah. If you put them in a bubble, they're going to want to. When they get off on their own or do it, they're going to go crazy and start going after everything. If you let them see those things ahead of time, like I'm it's jokingly, but I'll say, hey, Riley, you want a sip of this? Like if I'm drinking like a tequila or something.
Excellent parent.
She says
no.
I know, but she says no, and I'm joking. I probably wouldn't
Right.
give it to her. But the fact is, I'm like, if you make it so that it's just normalized, it's not some big deal. Then it's going to be. Then they're not going to be. It's not going to make it seem like a big deal then when they can actually go do it. When you put them in a little bubble, then that's when they go, oh, okay. Oh wait, they always told me no. Let me have a little bit, and it goes nuts. I've seen it happen before. I have friends that did it. They were completely in that bubble and went crazy and had a whole different life experience than me.
This is why in Europe people do actually let their kids drink in high school for this precise reason.
You're right.
There's no drinking age. There's no drinking age in like France.
My parents were very strict, and I know like my mom's parents were very strict, and she went to like Catholic all-girls school. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I'd smoke in the bathroom, and we're drinking when we're 16." And and I feel like looking back on when I was that age, I don't know, my sister and I. It's not like we were bad or anything, but we did all the normal things that I think maybe she's starting to like get into her head. Oh, because she's only like 32 or 33. I don't know. She's got to be like 35. Anyway, she had him when she was like 21. So she's kind of a young mom. So maybe she's starting to be like, I know that I was a real a-hole at that age.
I see what you're saying.
But I guess I just wanted to ask you, especially Greg, since you have a daughter this age, and if you would trust
I would trust my brother wholeheartedly.
Right. Yeah. And so I kind of want to just like chop up this segment and send it to her and be like, here, just sit on that.
Well, your biggest concern with all of this, I'm telling you, is manpower on the ground simply for staying on your feet for long enough to be able to withstand the actual time of the festival. I'm telling you, that is your largest challenge as the, whatever you want to call it, chauffeur, the chaperone, the guardian, pun intended. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to make sure that you can do it because a 13-year-old wide-eyed kid will be able to keep their energy up.
And also, you have phones. Like, it's not like when we were kids and you had absolutely nothing.
Seeing them later, right?
Right. Yeah, you have a phone that you can see where they are at all times if you share your location. There's so many different ways to get through these things now.
I was going to have another person or two with me, but I told her, I was like, if I can take him around, just me and him, when he's 10 to Disney World, not Disneyland, Disney World, which is much bigger.
Much bigger.
I think that this is perfectly, perfectly up to par as far as like the physical requirements. Because I was like, man, there was a part of me that was worried I'd lose him in Disney World when it was just me and him walking around all day.
I would be more concerned about Disney World than I would be about this festival.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
That's what I thought.
Quite honestly.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm not, you got to pick your battles, and this is one where I'm kind of wanting to push back on, but I wasn't sure. So I'm glad I got your guys' advice. Real talk.
With Lindsay Baseball.
Real talk. I like that segment. Are you going to try and bring it in with Sedano Kap?
Yeah.
They'll like it.
We'll make sure we preface it by saying no bowel movement talk. No
well, you don't like
electronics. Oh, we were going to get that anyway, so this is something different.
There you go.
DeAndre is going to give us like a real talk about like his 9 p.m. basketball game the other night,
That's right.
He played a basketball game at 9 p.m.?
That's right,
sure
man.
did, and he sent his video of it.
No way.
We got to get that working, man.
All right. Is that all you got?
Can we get into some Lakers next?
Yeah, we'll get into some Lakers on the other side. Greg Bergman was in the building, hanging out with all of the stars and celebrities here from ESPN 710. I saw that online, so I'm very excited to get into that. He's Greg Bergman. I'm Clinton Yates. This is Sedano and Kap on ESPN 710 Los Angeles. Linz.
Tell us about Stella Rosa.
I will do just that. So, guys, you're going to want to gear up for your next game day hang with Stella Rosa. As you know by now, I've been telling you for a long time now, there's nothing sweeter than trying the new exciting flavors from Stella Rosa's Spicy series on game day. Last weekend, I tried the new Stella Rosa Lime and Chili, and I had it with some sweet and spicy wings, and it was delish, the perfect pairing. So next time you're shopping before game day, head to your local retailer, grab a couple bottles of your favorite Stella Rosa wine to pair with your game day snack, and get this. Stella Rosa wants to make it even sweeter and hook you up with a chance to win an experience to the biggest game of the college football season. You could win 2 tickets to the game, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. All you have to do is head to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter the Dream Ticket sweepstakes presented by Stella Rosa. Remember to celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
Park Party and Play at Hollywood Park Casino. Listen to Travis and DeMarco to win the ultimate game day prize pack. VIP tailgate passes plus game day tickets. Listen to your cue to call and don't miss your chance to win the ultimate game day experience. Park Party and Play with me at Hollywood Park Casino. Must be 21 and older to enter.
Top spot in the Temecula Valley to watch all the Monday Night Football action. Dozens of TVs means all your favorite games. Plus a M&F food menu fit for the greatest fans. Sliders, loaded tater tots, pulled pork pizza, and a lot more. Plus you'll find beers on tap and incredible craft cocktails at Kelsey's. Visit Pachanga.com and follow at Pachanga Casino on Instagram for info about special and exclusive NFL team appearances. We'll see you at Kelsey's at Pachanga.
ESPN LA and Beverly Hills Orthodontics are teaming up this fall because we want to know who's smiling in SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. This can be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, a youngster who brightens your day. Tell us who's smiling and you could win some awesome prizes like sweet tickets from ESPN LA, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, and a grand prize of Invisalign from Beverly Hills Ortho. Enter now at ESPNLA.com and remember you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Orthodontics.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Take it away, Lindsay.
Nice.
Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome.
Sorry, my voice.
I don't know if I did that right.
We're scrambling over here. Yeah. Definitely.
Usually by this time, like, I feel like Sedano will just be like, by the time he gets to like Wednesday or Thursday, he's just
sounds like a Missy Elliott song.
It does. It totally does.
Anyway.
All right, so what you need to know is that, as you guys already know, actor Matthew McConaughey is a huge fan of Texas.
Correct.
Big Texas Longhorns fan.
All right.
And after, I'm sure that you saw, after the big game against Georgia over the weekend, fans were really mad when their team lost and threw a bunch of stuff all over the field.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal. People were angry. Well, guess what? Matthew McConaughey wants Texas fans to know that he is especially disappointed in them. And so he decided to take it upon himself to post something on his social media accounts that addresses Longhorn Nation and specifically the student section.
Oh, jeez.
In which he says, MOC McConaughey coming at you here. First of all, what is MOC McConaughey?
Man on campus. BMOC is big man on campus.
So there we go. See, you solved it for me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to kind of read it in my Matthew McConaughey voice.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah. I
Hold
can't
on,
wait for this.
All right. Is that how he talks?
Shh.
Wait, somebody give me like a reference point here. All right.
This is your department, Greg.
Yeah. It's close.
Okay.
So, all right.
Okay. First off, you were electric. That's too Southern. You were electric Saturday night when we hosted Georgia. Bravo. Let's continue to bring it. Even though our Horns didn't get the W, you created a measurable home field advantage. But let's get real about the bottle bombing, the field glitch we had. Not cool. Bogey move. Yeah, that call was BS, but we're better than that. Longhorn Nation knows how to show up, show out like no other, and still keep our class. So going forward, let's clean that kind of BS up and leave that behind us for good. We have to shake hands on that.
That was actually pretty good.
That was not bad. You got through multiple sentences. I thought that was just going to be like a tweet level. That was actually
a little bit of a whole ass statement.
I was with you. I thought I was going to start off with that
Exactly.
Southern accent, and it was just going to be like, I forget it. I'm just going to talk about it regularly.
Right.
But either way, See why?
Do you think that this makes a difference to people? They're he said it. We better listen.
Matthew McConaughey told me not to throw things. I'm not going to throw things now.
So okay,
I think the sentiment could be one thing, but the fact of the matter, we're not going to be like, oh, Matthew McConaughey said it.
There's
now
two
we're not
levels
going to do
this.
it.
I do think it has some import because, especially if you're referring to the student section. Student sections don't want things to go farther. You don't want to goof around in freshman year and get banned from your stadium. And I've seen that happen. Some of these bigger schools, if they've got problem kids that they know are popular, will be like, no, you just can't come. It's literally written on the thing. You are not allowed in here anymore. So there's sort of an extra threat, I think, that's being said there that's not stated in what he's getting at because it's a real issue. Here's why. If you watch that game, they ended up getting a call changed because of that. And Georgia's coach was, in fact, furious about the way that went down because he was like, oh, that's what we're doing? We can just start soiling the field when we don't like calls and it might get reversed? There is a real function, and they got fined for it. So, there is a real actual advantage you could lose if people start not being allowed to come or whatever reason if, the conference decides so.
Throwing bottles onto the field is wrong in every sense
cool.
and never, ever cool.
Right.
I don't think the fact that Matthew McConaughey is saying
Dodger Stadium,
yeah,
if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All that stuff. You should never throw anything on the field. So that when I went to Colorado for a year, and one of the things that they would do is they'd take marshmallows at halftime, and they would have a marshmallow fight, throw marshmallows back and forth.
Folsom Field.
Yeah, Folsom Field. There's a marshmallow fight during halftime. It got banned after a little while because people were sticking things into the marshmallows, like batteries or rocks or things like that, and causing problems. That's when you take it too far, that's when things like what you're saying causes problems. So now this, I understand throwing bottles on the field, wrong.
Never
throwing
cool.
anything on the field, wrong. But the fact of the matter, again, for the actual question for what it was, Matthew McConaughey is not going to change anybody's mind.
No, but he's maybe somebody you listen to a little bit more than you listen to an administrator, because if they get to escalate things, then the next step is, guess what? Nobody's sitting in the student section. I'm Matthew McConaughey. I'll be up in there with all my friends. You don't want that. And I do think there is a bit of grandstanding here. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But I feel like the Texas administration probably said, I'm not sure how we deliver this message without somebody who at least the students care about on some level, because for no other reason they know who they are. What's the provost going to get up there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The school president's not going to get out there. That's not going to have any impact at all. I don't think that this is necessarily designed to just scare people, but you got to say something, because that was bad, dude.
So, yeah, no, it was bad. But again, when you were in college, I'm sure you were the same way. If somebody tells you not to do something, screw that guy. Please, McConaughey, I'm going to do whatever I want, bro.
I do remember the student sections were pretty sensitive, though, because they were
still funny,
they were still that was pretty funny. They were still students. I mean, I covered every game I went to in college. I never sat in the crowd in college, so I don't know. But I remember, this is my job. I covered. I didn't go to a D1 game in the stands until I was 40 years old, because I was covering games.
40 years old?
Yeah,
God,
39, 37, yeah. I mean,
I didn't realize your life sucked that much.
No, it's pretty good. You're sitting right here looking at me, buddy. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway,
no, I mean,
my point
understand
is
you have a
that
great life, but
the way
still,
that
that was
students,
an experience
the way that
you
student
missed.
sections work is the threat of ban. And if you get to that point, well, then, you're in a tough spot. I think that's really what the point of this is. Don't make us do more, as perhaps Lindsay's sister would say, in case something goes wrong. That's more so what's being said here. But yeah, that was a bad deal. I can't believe that call got changed either in that game. That was nuts.
Do you think
that was a bad call, though? That was a bad call.
You're right.
Yeah, it was.
It was horrible.
Let me go back 1 second. So basketball games, you didn't sit in the student section of
The
basketball
student
games.
section
At a football
would
game.
taunt me while I was on press row. And I stood on the field during football games, or was in the press box, and during hockey, it was press box, yeah.
So you didn't actually get to have the experience of sitting in the crowd with your
Why would
your
I wanna
buddies
do
getting
that?
all hammered, because that's what college is all about.
I mean, you can do that when you're not at the game, and so you don't have to embarrass yourself in front of weird adults who are going to judge you.
No. You
I don't know, Matthew McConaughey. You know what I'm
See,
saying?
that's the difference.
Kinda make
That
a
means
point.
you're caring what Matthew McConaughey thinks of you. I don't think I would when I was in Colorado, I just didn't care about it. I just got drunk. I stood in the stands. I was throwing marshmallows. It was great.
I think that's pretty clear, is what I'm saying. That's not why I was there.
It was a blast because it was
precisely
college.
my point.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
it was college. You're having an experience.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it
I
was-
feel like different college experiences here. You
Yeah.
got to where you're at, so
Tons of
obviously you're
fun,
doing
yeah.
well.
It was more fun. It was more fun than hanging out with the dorks I went to college with. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It was a good time. Anyway, my point is that
I got off track.
I think
That was
McConaughey
shocking to
is
me.
noble here, but there's a lot of grandstanding along with it, Greg, for sure.
Yes, no, there's a lot of grandstanding, but still, no matter what, they're not going to listen to him. But he shouldn't. At the end of the day, do not throw things on the field. Period. It's dumb, stupid.
Doesn't work.
Don't do it.
Doesn't work at all.
Yeah,
That's what we needed to know.
Yes.
Okay.
Glad we conversed about that.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. McConaughey. How is McConaughey doing, by the way? And Linz, I need your feelings on this. Where is he ranking in terms of his stature in the handsome man community? This is important to me as the president of the local chapter. Is he still got it, or is he aging as graceful as he needs to? Or is there assistance there, in your opinion,
Say
or
it
is
in
he doing
McConaughey
okay?
voice.
I think he's all right. All right.
Come on. That was the only grade you were going to give him. But I'm asking you this question genuinely. He's a
good-looking man.
Is he transforming into the character he actually played on Dazed and Confused? Like the
No,
old guy
I don't
who has
think
no
so.
business being
I don't
there?
think so.
I get older.
I feel like
they
he's a
stay
god
the
there at those
same
games.
age.
Why do you think he hangs out on like the sidelines?
Oh,
right?
I'm sure he is.
Oh, yeah.
I was just wondering to the the layperson.
He's a good-looking guy.
Okay.
Not my type, but he's a good-looking guy.
Not your type.
You don't like the
So if
beard
Matthew
and long
McConaughey
hair,
walked in
curly
here
hair?
right now and said, "Let's go to dinner," you'd
Oh
say,
no, of
"Not
course
my
I
type."
would. I'm just saying, like, if we're judging things like
Okay,
everything
fair.
equally, like he's a good-looking guy, but
Fair enough.
Who is
super
your
hot
type
for
that's out
him.
there? Like, is it if on an older level? Is it George Clooney, Brad Pitt?
The Clooney? That's who you're going to? All right.
Everybody that I know finds him very attractive.
Is that right?
I don't think he doesn't really do it for me.
No. So who is when you're watching any type of movie? Who are you looking
I'm
at?
trying to think. I have to think on that. Like thinking of like older guys who are like they're a babe.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a babe. It
Wow.
doesn't have to be older. Just like
Wow.
who is your celebrity crush, basically?
Oh, mine is definitely Channing Tatum. Like
Channing
Tatum. He's a babe.
Okay. What about that guy that was in Twisters? He sort of looks like
No.
a mix
that
between
guy's annoying. I don't
No,
like
he
him.
is the Glenn Fry.
Fry.
You don't like him?
No, I'm not a fan.
I kind of feel like he's moving in on McConaughey's turf. Like, A, he was at that game. B, he was in a cowboy hat. And C, he's kind of doing that kind of rustic, I play that guy, sort of an outlaw kind of roles these days.
He's oversaturating himself because he was in so many movies in such a short period of time. I feel like he was in everything. And I was like, Jesus, man, this guy's in another movie I'm watching? Like, come on.
Twisters, he was good in. Like,
He was good in that movie.
I genuinely
Yeah, he
enjoyed
was.
his role in that.
I-
I've never
I-
seen him in anything else. I didn't know.
He was in Top Gun, Maverick.
Yeah.
You didn't see that?
No. Once again.
And it's Glenn Powell.
We review this
That's
every
you're right.
single
It's Glenn-
time.
it's Glenn Powell.
Glenn
There
Fry's
are
someone
no
else.
black
Glenn
people
Powell.
in the
That's
top
not
dog.
Glenn
It's
Fry.
Glenn Powell. Yeah.
Yes.
Who's Glenn Fry?
I don't
Glenn
know.
Fry is somebody.
I think
thinking
he's
about
like
Fry
either
from-
an
yeah.
athlete
Wait,
or
Glenn
a
Fry
You're
is
thinking
singer.
about the guy
Is
from
he
the
in-
Gardos is who you're thinking about.
Am I? No, that's David Fry.
That's what I'm saying. That's why that name was on your mind, is what I'm getting.
Oh.
He was in the Eagles. Glenn Fry was in the Eagles.
There we go. I was thinking he's either an athlete or a singer.
Top Gun franchise, not for me, so I don't know that.
Two
but-
totally separate people, different ages.
Okay, anyway, all right.
I'm
Off
sure
the
that
rails.
Glenn Fry's a babe too.
Coming up, we'll talk about Greg Bergman's outing to crypto to see the Lakers, and there was a lot there.
Friday night, your USC Trojans are back at the Coliseum as they take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights this Friday. Coverage kicks off at 6 p.m. And you'll hear the game and all the coverage on Talk Radio 790 KABC. That's right, here at USC on
ESPN
790.
LA and Beverly Hills Ortho are teaming up because we want to know who's smiling in SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. Could be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, or you could nominate yourself. You could win prizes like sweet tickets, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, or the grand prize, Invisalign. Enter now at ESPNLA.com. And remember, you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Ortho.
Check out their reviews online and call for a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS. That's 888-390-2747 or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Hey, what up? It's Matt Barnes here. If you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Pernia Law.
For me, it's about getting the top result and the top value for your claim. Even if you didn't have insurance during the accident, Uncle Artie will still help you. I'm sure a lot of you out there got turned back from attorneys when you said, I don't have insurance. Well, guess what? Uncle Artie can still help you. It does not matter. Give us a call. You have nothing to lose. We take the case on a contingency. You don't pay up front.
Uncle Artie's not just my friend, but he's your uncle in the business. Artie Pernia is a seasoned personal injury attorney who works with you so you receive the best possible compensation for your case. Let Uncle Artie and the Pernia Law family provide peace of mind so you can focus on your recovery.
Trust us, trust Uncle.
When you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Pernia Law, 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
Park, party, and Play at Hollywood Park Casino. Join Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison this Thursday, October 24th, for their live Rams postgame show from Ray's Lounge at Hollywood Park Casino. Win prizes and party with Travis, Kirk, and ESPN LA fans. Hollywood Park Casino is Los Angeles' premier card room casino and entertainment destination. Enjoy a postgame meal and drink at Ray's Lounge right after the game. Park, party, and play at Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game. Must be 21 and older.
With over 20 clinics in LA and Orange County, Game Day Men's Health helps optimize your health with testosterone therapy, ED treatment, and more. Text ESPN 710 to 406-426-3329 to find a clinic near you and schedule your free testosterone consultation.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Join 710 ESPN and Children's Dental Fun Zone for a smile-worthy celebration on Sunday, October 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. as the doors open to Children's Dental Fun Zone in Colton. Kids can dress up in their favorite costume and visit the trunk or treat. Parents meet the doctors and staff and enjoy food, games, raffles, and giveaways. 1280 East Washington Street in the city of Colton. Visit their Instagram at CDF Zone or visit their website, cdfzone.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
Really? Oh, my B.
Yeah.
My B.
Your B.
On 710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap, Bergman and Yates here on a Wednesday. I was thinking about this during the break, and I was like, why was that so confusing to you? And I realized that I left out a major part of what I was talking about in college, which was that the drinking happened and the partying happened with the people playing after the games.
Okay.
I lived on North Quad with a bunch of athletes who were roommates of mine and hallmates of mine. And so, the game was work time. After the game was party time. That's how that works.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I was thinking,
I was like, why is he so confused?
I was very confused that you just were a guy that just sat on the sideline with your paper and your
Trust
your
me, brother.
score
I didn't graduate.
card
I'm still right here. All right. Everything went just fine.
That's the way it sounded to me. That's all. That's all
yeah.
I'm saying. And we got two people online
after the game, not before the game, but one person who was a college athlete who's on the line right now, whose name you just heard me say, Scott Kaplan. What's up, Playboy? How you living?
What's up, Cappy?
Oh, my guys. Oh, my God. Bergie, I know you spent some time down here in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I've just landed in Kona, and I am cruising the Queen K Highway, which, Clinton, I know you like sports that are not just football and baseball, basketball, soccer, and hockey.
Correct.
I am here for the Ironman World Championship, and this is the Augusta National for this sport, meaning this is the religious place where people who are golfers, they want to play Augusta.
Yeah.
If you're a triathlete, you want to do the Ironman World Championship in Kona. People are literally, as we're cruising, I see people on their bikes that are just kind of in their last couple days, people who are running a little bit, and it's going to be a beautiful weekend down here in Kona.
This is their World Series.
That is solid. It's a pilgrimage, if you will. So wait, quickly, I understand, Lindsay, George is here with us as well.
Correct.
We've got a full
Four-man
inventory, four-man weave. Sedano, how are you?
I'm good. I'm calling because me. I think it'd be great if we called together.
Sound like Lindsay.
So
wait a bit.
Exactly. So
he said that when he called in. I was like, please make sure you use that voice.
So, Sedano, can you give us a location update?
I am currently jumping on the 405 headed to Intuit Dome.
Oh,
Ah.
All right, so you will be a part of the traffic.
You're there
Check
for
out the
all
bathrooms.
the toilets. That's right. Apparently, they have a beer stand above it too.
That's
so you can.
not new, but it's so. Let me explain to you what the toilet situation is at some bathrooms on the main concourse, George. It is what we call a full Harambe situation. So be prepared for that.
Harambe?
Yes, if you know what that means.
A full Harambe.
Yes, as
What
in
does that mean?
everybody can see you. Whip them out for Harambe. It's a whole thing. Anyway,
okay.
it means that there are not barriers between the different
Well, that's most
urinals.
places.
Not most, plenty, but not most.
I mean, Dodger Stadium. It used to be just a trough.
Yeah, I know. They still have
Yeah.
one in Oakland.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what it is at Intuit, even though it's a modern place. How are you guys doing today?
Use 764 toilets that they have there in the main concourse, but
No,
I'll have my own bathroom.
I would. One night I could use all 1,100 of them.
That's the goal for Cappy. Every single one.
So what's going on?
Especially if I have a greasy sausage patty before I go in, forget about it. I'll use all 1,100 of them.
It took all of 4 minutes for you to get to a bodily function. We were just talking about that last segment. How that is your go-to. Sedano, what's on your docket tonight?
I am excited for his moment. Bronny went out there, he missed 2 shots. I didn't think he played terribly on defense. We got the moment. We move on. Now he goes. Palmer's Palace gets to be.
So you think back to Bronny and LeBron, you can't. So Bronny's going to play one more time probably in Cleveland, right? When they go to Cleveland, I think next week he'll play there too.
Probably, yeah. I think Lindsay and I capped yesterday. It makes sense. Yeah, but I think that he needs to spend the majority of the time in the G League. That's where he's going to learn to play basketball.
I think that there's any chance that he's not great in the G League either.
Hold on, Bergman. Cappy wants to.
Sorry.
Bergie, let me just say one thing real quick, and it's hard to hear you, so just excuse me. Let me just say one thing. Last night was super cool. I mean, it really, really was cool to have Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. there, to have a star-studded opening night, and to have the moment where Bronny and LeBron come in together. It was very cool. But I couldn't help but feel bad thereafter for Bronny because he played ceremonial minutes, which I knew he was going to get. But when he went back to the bench and there was no rotation for him, there was a part of me that was like, I kind of feel bad for the kid. You know, he went out there, he played, he sat back down, and he wasn't getting back off that bench.
George, do you agree with that on any level, that there is some level of empathy or sympathy, I guess, for Bronny now that we actually are all the way here and the lights are on and the stage is up?
No, I feel like he's going to have to think that the kid is willing to do that.
Okay. So, I mean,
I agree, by the way, George. I agree. I mean, I think that for him to get what he wants, he's going to have to earn it. It was cute, and like I said, it was ceremonial when he and Dad go walking onto the floor together. But after that, and Bergie, I think you're right on. I mean, I think that, again, there's more ceremony to come when they return to Cleveland. But anything after that, it's like, dude, you're going to have to ball out. You're going to have to work out. You're going to have to be the very best. You're going to have to work harder than everybody else. Because honestly, like when he took the floor yesterday, everybody's comment was like, God, he looks tiny out there. Yeah, he's small.
Yeah, he's 6'1", and I think Andy Kamenetsky said it to me the best, that he's a 6'1" defensive stopper. That's who he's a defensive guy at 6'1". That's usually not the size you are for a defensive only guy.
Not in the NBA.
Not in the NBA. If you're 6'7" and only defensive, that you can make that work. There's plenty of guys, but it's 6'1".
I mean, there are exceptions. I mean, Pat Beverly is that height, basically. Like, I mean, Pat Beverly's just built like a man now, but Pat Beverly was not built like a man in 2010 when he tried to break into the NBA.
Yeah, that's true. But Pat Beverly was also an intense scorer.
Yep.
He could dunk on your head, and he was
different deal.
You know,
Different.
Yeah.
He also was just like he's a nuisance. Like he gets into your head.
Right.
Oh, no. And here's the thing. Pat Beverly is playing, literally at that time, was playing for his livelihood.
Right.
And that's a different level of desperation that one has to play with.
Yeah. Fun fact. Pat Beverly won
and
a dunk
Bronny does not
contest
have to
in
play
the
with
Ukraine.
that.
Yeah. Scotty, what you got going on for the rest
I
of the
will
night?
say this. Can I interject? One more time.
Yes, this is going swimmingly well, having 4 people and 2 on the phone, so I'll lay out for you guys.
That's fine. Who cares?
Exactly how I wanted it.
The full Harambe. Okay, go ahead.
So can I get a rundown of Cappy and Shams yesterday? Because, Cappy, you told me you were trying to chummy up to Shams. Now, Bergman also mentioned that you were chumming up to Shams, who is our newly minted ESPN NBA insider. I've known the guy for 10 years. Great guy. Very excited that he's aboard. But I also had spy reports telling me that you were doing, like, the fake laugh with the fake pat on the back when talking to him. Like, how is that going?
Well, let me say this, George. It's all caught on video. So if you want to go back and review the film, I encourage you to do so.
Yeah.
I don't know that there was much by way of fake laughter or fake pat on the back. It was simply a hello. Let me introduce myself to you, young fella, and say hello. And then I said, hey, we're sort of I guess we're connected through Sedano because the story you told me is that you kind of brought him up, and the story you have told on the air is that I was part of.
Oh no, I did not tell you that. I hope you didn't say that because I did not bring him up. I told you he introduced himself to me at an NBA Finals 10 years ago when he was like 18 or 19 years old, and I always appreciated his hustle, doing this stuff at that young of an age. But I did not bring him up at all.
Well, let me rephrase it. If that's going to, but listen, don't get so upset. All right, don't get so offended. You're the one that breaks.
I'm not upset.
Fake laughter. Don't give me this fake laughter nonsense. Bergie, you were there.
This
is again. There is video.
Yeah.
Was there fake laughter?
This is what I was told. So Bergman, feel free to jump in here.
Yes.
Yeah. Who told you this, by the way?
Who's upset now?
Yeah, right. Who told
really?
you?
Now
Who
I'm
told
pissed
you?
off.
So
now I'm pissed.
This is how it went down. So it was me and Cappy, and Carlo was filming as we went up. Cappy went up and said hello. I shook Sham's hands as well. But Cappy started talking about how he was from Miami, that you were from Miami. There wasn't very much fake laughter. It was just talking about your guys' past and how you knew and how everyone was kind of connected. And that was it. Then
he actually told me that he had Miami in his DNA. I didn't know that. But here's the more important factor, George. And this must get said on the air today. I am now best friends with the FaZe clan. You understand what I'm saying?
You know nothing about the FaZe clan.
He's got something for you.
You know nothing about the FaZe clan. I saw that video posted all over ESPN Los Angeles. And let me tell you something. You know nothing about the FaZe clan.
5 F-bombs, by the way.
DeAndre's 100% right.
I saw that video. I'm like, look at this
guy.
Do
you even know what
look
they
at
do?
this guy. You don't know nothing about
What do they do?
Let me tell you something what they do. First of all, they vlog like a mofo. And you know how I know that, DeAndre? Because guess what? Your boy is on the FaZe Clan vlog now. That's exactly right.
I saw it. Yeah, they had the cameras out and everything.
Yeah, me and one of the FaZe Clanners had a full-blown conversation about his grill. I thought the grill was fake and that he could take it out and I could try it on. Turns out the grill is completely glued to all of his teeth.
Take it out and try it on?
Why would you do that, man?
That's disgusting, Cappy.
I was like, yo, young fella, I go, let me see that grill, dog. And he goes, oh, no, man, I can't take this out. I'm like, oh, man, I wanted to try that thing on.
Did they have any idea who the king of South was, Cappy?
They had no idea. And what I had to school these young kids on was, I go, you guys probably think I'm some old guy. I go, but your dads think I'm really cool. Trust me.
That's exactly what he said. And actually, one of them goes, so they take out this camera, point it towards Cappy, and they go, tell me who you are. He's like, who am I?
Yeah, like, who are you, bro?
Wow, one of those.
Yeah.
But do you know what FaZe Clan actually does, Cappy? Do you know what they do, like it's for their job?
FaZe Clan guys, I think, aren't these guys like really cool, happening like gamer vlogger dudes?
Yeah, they're gamers.
They're big
gamers.
They're big streamers.
Things like that, yeah.
Aren't they also like in on the same team as Bronny?
Bronny did join them. He signed on with FaZe Clan, correct?
Yes.
Hey, DeAndre. Listen, you think I need you to tell me this? You think I don't know what's going on? You think I don't know what time it is?
All right. Sedano, thank you. Cappy, I appreciate it. Good luck, good health, and everything.
See ya.
George, I hope they don't flush all the
Long
toilets.
live
He was
the
done.
FaZe Clan.
George was done.
Yeah,
he was like, I'm out. He said bye to me.
I
I'm
love
gone.
the FaZe Clan.
All right.
Where are you guys going?
Where are you going? Enjoy Hawaii,
We're going to break is where we're going, sir. It's good to talk to you, Cappy.
Love you guys.
Have a good night
Love you,
tonight.
buddy. Have a good time.
Have
By
fun
the
in
way,
Hawaii.
Have you ever had trouble finding your favorite team's game? Couldn't find that outstanding matchup? So many channels, so many streaming services. Well, now there's no more searching and hunting. Where to Watch has you covered. Where to Watch is a new feature that you can find on ESPN.com and on the free ESPN app. Where to Watch is a one-stop shop with one-click access to ESPN network streams and all other networks. Tens of thousands of events across sports and leagues. NFL, college football, men's and women's college hoops, the NBA, MLB, NHL, and so much more. Where to Watch is available now on the ESPN app at ESPN.com. Access it from any web browser at ESPN.com/Where to Watch today. That's ESPN.com/Where to Watch.
The black and gold are back in the playoffs, and ESPN LA wants you to be there too. LAFC are making a run at their third straight MLS Cup final, and the playoff run starts Sunday.
Congratulations, Sergi. Good luck in the playoffs.
So much. Let's go. Listen Friday during Travis and DeMarco and Mason in Ireland for your chance to win tickets.
BMO Stadium is rocking for the black and gold.
LAFC Playoff Ticket Friday on 710 ESPN.
Just like in sports, you can never predict an accident. It will come when you least expect it. Travis Rogers here with DeMarco Farr to tell you about our friend, Joseph S. Normand.
If you're in any accident, call Joseph at 213-747-2000. The team at Normand Legal is ready to help you and achieve the maximum compensation you deserve.
Call Joseph at 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. You have many choices in a legal team, but family always comes first.
Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. The law office of Joseph S. Normand.
It's SUV month at Kia of Carson, and you can get sweet deals on the last of the 24 Tellurides and win a sweet night experience for you and 3 guests for just a test drive. Compliments of Kia of Carson and ESPN LA. We have great deals on our hybrids and plug-ins, as well as our all-electric models. So whether you decide to go with the Nero hybrid with an EPA estimated 53 mpg in the city or a rugged Telluride, we have the car and the deal for you all month at Kia of Carson. Visit KiaofCarson.com, or better yet, come test drive a new Kia for a chance to win a sweet experience.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. At Los Angeles International Airport, changes are arriving daily to help reduce traffic, save travelers time, and transform the travel experience. The LAX economy parking structure is now open with thousands of smart parking spaces, as well as hundreds of EV charging stations. Modernized terminals have biometric gates for faster boarding, and in the future, the People Mover train will connect travelers to LA Metro. For more information, go to their website, flylax.com/transforminglax. That's flylax.com/transforminglax.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Max Bankman, I'm the new doctor.
Welcome aboard the Odyssey.
ABC Thursdays.
This ship is heaven. We're tending to our passengers' dreams.
I'm in.
From 911 executive producer Ryan Murphy comes a splashy new drama on a luxury cruise ship with Joshua Jackson and Don Johnson. It's your job to keep everyone alive.
She's in VFib. 1, 2, 3. Clear.
I have a pulse. You're going to be okay. Dr. Odyssey. Thursdays, 9/8 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
On October 21st, 2006, Michigan State found themselves down 38-3 with less than 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, and they made that initial deficit like it never even happened, scoring 38 straight points to win 41-38.
Incomplete. The ball game is over. The Michigan State Spartans in one of the greatest comebacks in Michigan State football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
And it is Sedano and Kap. Around 5:30 p.m. in the Southland Radio Tinder time, we like to play a TV theme. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram. Don't forget about our sponsor, Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Take it away, producer Lindsay.
the valley where I harvest my grain. I take a look at my wife and realize
she's very plain.
Weird Al. We're in
You know all the words.
My wheelhouse in high school for
Hot
sure.
zone, baby.
Wait.
Swing away.
Clinton, do you know any of the words
No.
to this song? I do.
Sounds like the kind of thing they would sing in the student section in Colorado.
DeAndre was like, wait, who is this guy? I was like, wait, you don't know who Weird Al is?
No, I do not know who this guy is.
Quickly before we get to that, Weird Al is the exact perfect person who a biopic works for on every level possible. He was kind of a quirky character that became very popular, satirizing other songs. But he was in fact a genius musician on a real level. He just acted like a goofball, and a lot of what he presented to the world, like videos-wise and so forth, literally became major pop culture moments. And so that's the kind of person I need a biopic about. I don't need a biopic
They
about
did something.
There was
They
a
did.
movie about him somewhere, but all I'm saying, D, is that that's the kind of character whose life, career, and existence lives up to the biopic, not just because you happen to sell a bunch of records.
No joke, dude. You should actually, when you're driving home today, however long it takes you, just listen to a few of his songs. They're hilarious. They're just, they're just making fun of a ton of songs.
Yes,
it's
but
really,
hard to
really funny.
I can imagine, though, Greg, that it's hard to understand without the context of having known the words in real time. And there's a contextuality to it that I think will be difficult, but you'll understand what you're looking at, is what I'm saying, in terms of why people thought he was entertaining at all.
Like, this was more of his, like, not, like,
Experimental.
older stuff, but, like, he got famous from doing Michael Jackson,
Yes.
like, I'm fat instead of bad.
Yes.
And it's a very
It's a
hilarious
funny video.
I'm
it's
fat.
So
Groundbreaking comedy in music videos.
He
I'm
was
not
like
even
Frank
joking.
Zappa, but
Yeah.
like funnier.
Yeah.
Like way funnier. And what was the other one? It was definitely fat. And I always think of this one as like one of my favorites. But yeah,
You got to understand,
Amish
though,
Paradise? Oh, that was
also,
Amish Paradise.
you also understand, this is back in a time when guys were, comics were roller skating around stages and blowing up watermelons in people's faces. Like, it wasn't that complex in terms of the American industrial, entertainment complex. It didn't take much. And this guy was genuinely creative down to the detail, and he was really good at it, too.
You're probably thinking, Eat It.
Eat
It was a good one.
Eat it, not
he just,
beat
the,
it.
The video, he just keeps getting fatter and fatter.
Right,
and
he's
fatter
like
as he
expanding,
keeps-
which
he's expanding
these
so
days
good.
that doesn't fly,
No,
but like,
it's so funny.
he was a funny
probably
guy.
the one that made him famous. I'm thinking
Yeah.
of when he did the Crash Test Dummy song. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. I
that
acted
was-
like I knew what that song was. I don't at all.
Anywho. Like a Surgeon.
Oh, Like a Surgeon
was good.
White and Nerdy.
Oh, White and Nerdy was a good one too.
I heard that one.
You've heard
Yeah,
White Nerdy?
yeah,
White
yeah,
and
yeah,
Nerdy.
yeah.
That
There
makes
you go.
sense.
You were
So
probably like,
good.
what is this?
I was.
Well, now
It's
you know.
great. Listen
Now
to
you
it
know.
today. All right.
Yeah.
So what you got, Linz?
All right, so first one here, sticking on the topic of musicians. I'm not sure you guys are familiar with the musician Jelly Roll.
Yep.
Yeah,
Big
for
fan
sure.
of
Absolutely.
Jelly Roll. Love that guy. He was actually at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony on Saturday, inducting.
Cleveland alert.
Yes, Cleveland alert, inducting Ozzy Osbourne. And he did like an Ozzy Osbourne tribute, and it was awesome. I saw that on Twitter, and it was really cool. But anyway, after this happened, he posted some pictures from this really cool experience and really cool event because some of the most like famous living musicians were there. You had Cher, you had Ozzy Osbourne, you had, like I said, he inducted him. He posted some pictures from this event, and for whatever reason, he just got a whole bunch of hate from people. They didn't like his tribute. They didn't think that he had any business, I guess, inducting these guys into the Hall of Fame. I don't know what people's problem is. We usually don't. But anyway, he then posted that, quote, "This is the most toxic, negative app to ever exist, period, LOL. This place is different. I always heard it was the Wild Wild West on here, but man, it's insane. It's a safe place for everyone to say mean bleep to each other with no consequences. I'm out." So then he just quit Twitter, deleted it.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you guys, have you ever deleted, quit, taken a break from social media? Swipe left or swipe right?
Who goes first?
Greg, you go first.
So, swipe left. No, I have never quit any of these social medias because it's social media. You know what you're getting into when you're on there. You can do different things. You can mute people. You can block people. I tend to not do that because I don't really want to have that on my conscience of even thinking about that. I don't know.
want to have that on my conscience of telling people
It's
that
weird.
they're
It's just
jerks.
muting them and block. I just don't. I feel like if people want to talk to me, I should just be excited that people want to actually say something to me. But no matter what, no, this is. What does he think, Jelly Roll?
I'm
thinking?
here.
It's going to be. It's social media. It is exactly what it is. It's there for people to say whatever they want behind a keyboard, where they don't actually see your face or know who you are, and they can say whatever they want, and they don't care. So that's what it's for. We have tons of people that
That's not
listen
what
to
it's
us.
for. That's just what it's turned into.
No, that's what it is now, and that's on Twitter. That's on Instagram. It doesn't matter what it is.
I don't know
now.
though.
Keyboard
and
warriors.
That's where I might.
Keyboard warriors. 100%.
I might swipe up on this, the super like, because I think there's two things about this. I think people don't really know who Jelly Roll is. Like, that dude was making music for, like, I hate to say this, but, like, guys with Duramaxes who had, baby moms who were on drugs kind of thing. Like, he comes from a part of the world where real life America is who he is. Like,
he calls himself white trash.
He's not
like,
just
he
some industry plant. So,
right.
like, it does not strike me as odd that he literally has no idea what a lot of the social interactions are on some websites specifically. And I do think, Greg, that Twitter is way worse than a lot of these other social media
it's the worst
sites.
of all of
Between
them.
Talk and IG and, Facebook is another matter, but, that's kind of TikTok.
Oh,
that's
TikTok.
kind of part of the,
That's kind of a Cappy moment there.
Facebook is kind of part of the furniture in a way.
T-A-L-K.
But Twitter is very specifically, and this is part of the reason why a lot of people are trying to leave it, including the daggone guy who runs the site. Like, I'm with him on this. If he was genuinely surprised and be like, I don't need this. I've lived real life. I make real music, and I had a good time. Screw you guys. I'm totally with this.
It's fine if he wants to go. The question was, have I ever left it? I have not.
I think for me, I have. I've taken breaks. It just depends on what I'm doing, and I block people robustly. All right. There's a large list of humans that I will block or mute, even if you didn't say anything to me. I just don't have time for that. Too much stuff going on.
I feel like Ramona always taught me, like Matumbo. No. I'll block you because you know what? Following me and sharing these things with me, it's not a right.
No.
It's a privilege.
I look at
Social
it the
media
other way
is a
around than how
privilege.
you do.
And if you're going to be a jerk, then you know what? I don't need to listen to you because,
Totally agree. It's not necessary at this point in my life.
It's not. And like you were saying, like you know what you're getting into when you have social media. I sure as hell, when I signed up for Twitter, like it was not like this, and I feel like it's only gotten uglier just in the past couple of years. I feel like ever since the pandemic, when people kind of had nothing better to do for a very long period of time, it got very, very ugly, and it's just at the point now where like I use it for information, and that's it. Because
it's another news feed,
trying to communicate with people has just gotten to a point where it's just like, why even bother anymore? Because everybody's gonna bleep about something,
Pop off.
Right. Exactly. All right. So then this next one here, I have a question. Do you guys ever dress up for Halloween? Like, are you big into like Halloween couples costumes, friends costumes?
Huge television holiday. So yeah, Halloween is a huge deal.
How about you, Greg? Are you like go on a dress up with your date or with your daughter or like friends group costume?
I'm
like, what
fine
do you
with doing
do?
it. I will do. I haven't done it recently, but I have gone out and dressed up as different things. Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, so I have this list that I found from Huffington Post of.
It's all fake now.
What?
It's all AI.
AI.
Yeah.
Well, this one that's okay because this is just like weird, popular costumes that you can find online in 2024. The first one I saw that really caught my eye was the sexy grimace. Now, this, of course, is playing off of the Mets' trend of bringing Grimace in as like, I guess he helped when he was at a game and threw out the first pitch. He turned their season around, so Grimace is all the rage in New York.
Didn't work in the NLCS.
He's not already sexy? I mean, what's that about?
I mean, I guess.
I'm joking. But
Some people are chubby chasers.
You think your boy won't put...
This sexy Grimace costume is not
it's a real thing.
Does not leave much to the imagination.
What does it look like?
I should post a link to these.
Yeah,
because it's a
on
great
social
costume.
media so they can engage with the content. That's how that works.
Well, usually I kind of like figure these things out as I go.
So describe it.
Okay, so it's got like the eyeballs. It's like a leotard, a purple leotard.
Okay, it's
and
a
then
leotard. Okay.
A fuzzy purple hat with some strings on it and like the little ear muff things. And then it's got Grimace's face on the leotard and then like leg warmers that are furry purple leg warmers. So not a whole lot of clothes there.
Okay.
As anything sexy in the front usually is.
Well, yes or no. I mean, it depends on what it is. If you go with sexy something, it could mean there's literally nothing there, or it could just mean this is a bodysuit, which sounds like what it is.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what they've all kind of turned into. This.
Okay, is that right? I don't keep up.
Childless. Everything is like they joke in Mean Girls that Halloween, once you get to high school, is just like
I get
any
that.
cute costume with some ears. Of some
I just
kind.
meant the specific clothing moving from basically skimpy to bodysuits are separate. So that's bodysuits I actually don't mind. Bodysuits look good.
Another one that they're selling, which I can't believe that this is a costume, is the childless cat lady.
That's a good bit.
This one's just kind of like a cloak with some cat ears and, kind of just dressing like a cat.
which a lot of women do. That's just the cap. Put on the ears, put on the little tail. They're done.
Yeah.
This one is probably my favorite. The Beyonce-inspired Renaissance Queen.
Okay.
Who is wearing the exact outfit that she wears on the cover of her Renaissance album.
That's a win right off the bat.
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's basically wearing a bikini, chaps, and a cowboy hat.
Yeah,
And
well, I
feel
just
like
mean in
if you can
general,
pull that
imitating
off-
Beyonce, good way to go as far as costuming.
Hell
is
yeah,
concerned.
if you can pull it off. Now this one, I don't know about this. This sexy Freddy Krueger. So back when I was younger, the sexy Freddy Krueger costume, because they have all of them. They have Jason, Michael Myers, whatever. And the sexy Freddy Krueger costume consisted of like a sweater that was like a dress, the striped sweater, the hat, and like the what do they call, like the knife's hands,
The
right?
gloves.
Well, this one is just like a full bodysuit that looks like it's just like scars all over you with the hat and the gloves.
So the bodysuit industry
Sexy Freddy.
is
It's a thing.
heavy into the Halloween costume world. That's the takeaway from this.
Oh,
Is that what we're getting
I
at?
see it.
Yes,
Get Miss
that's like a-
Krueger costume.
I saw somebody one time at a Halloween costume when I was
that's pretty hot.
I was not old enough. I had a fake ID.
Oh no! Did you go with your aunt who took you
I didn't.
after she picked you up in a plane?
She was not that cool. She was not that cool.
Oh yeah. Okay. See, but this is not. Okay,
Sexy
look.
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, but that's not a costume.
Right.
That is for the bedroom.
Right.
Like that is literally.
No, that's for Halloween.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. There's some, but like that's not practical in the sense of like.
None of them are very practical.
There's an element of
Halloween
practical.
parties like that, when they show up like that, they're great.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I was doing in college. You know what I'm saying? But no, I get it.
I once saw a costume when I was like, I had my sister's idea. I was probably like 18 or 19. And the girl won the costume contest as a bowl of Cheerios. And you know what? All she had on was some white undies and some Cheerios covering up some parts.
Alrighty then.
That's it.
So
That's all she had on.
Was there a question in here?
She won like $1,000
somewhere. Yeah.
Well, mine was more like, I guess, like if you guys are Halloween people, do you tend to dress with like the classics, like monsters and things of that nature that are actually scary, or are you more of like a trendy, like cool, sexy, type of costume person?
I always went with recently I've gone with the dude a lot because it's really comfortable to just wear.
Oh,
so
wait.
you're repeating.
Wait, I was gonna say you're the same
2 years
costume
in a row.
guy.
I did it 2 years in a row. But no, the best costume I ever had was, and I went to Santa Monica down.
Sure.
When they had the big party down there. I was Fat Bastard.
Ooh, that's
and
a good
and
one.
I had a big suit on, like I was Fat Bastard, and I put a bunch of pillows and something else in to keep me looking fat.
Okay.
I got people taking pictures of me non-stop because it was just such a good costume.
Wow.
It was great. That was the best costume I ever had.
For me, this is a little bit more specific. If I'm going to be in public, I'm going to need a team or a sort of couple situation doing this. However, and I hate to keep talking about this, but ever since I started working in television, my desire to be in costumes has gone up through the roof because you can wear it on camera and people can see it. And you don't have to wear it in public. It's the perfect combo. So last year, I was emo Jimmy Butler. You remember that Jimmy Butler
that was a
came
good
to
one.
Media Day with the hair done and the things painted, the nails painted black. So I did that. I actually got a manicure for the first time in my life in order to do that. So that was fun. 1 year, what was another one I did? I played Patrick Beverly 1 year. Speaking of Patrick Beverly, all that required me to do was wear a jersey because my hair was already long, and I just started screaming at Kevin Blackistone in the theater. And then 1 year I was Sidney Dean from White Men Can't Jump.
Oh, I remember that one. That was pretty good.
Thank you. I had to really go find all the stuff, the old tank tops and like a chain and the hats and all that. So I'm willing to make the effort as long as I don't have to necessarily be in public embarrassing myself. That part of it I can't really handle.
So Raider Rubin in the Sedano Kap Circle of Trust put up a video of him as Bender from Futurama.
Nice.
That's a strong costume.
Yeah.
I really
It's
like
strong.
that.
I like that one.
Like,
I
the
like that
truth
one a lot.
is, Linz, if this station had a Halloween party, it would be one of the coolest things that we could do. I've always had this dream of like taking one movie and you have like a theme. You have to dress as a character from this movie. Pick whatever movie you want collectively, and then everybody comes as that, and you bring like a picture of what you are. That's the kind of Halloween I'm down for, when everybody's kind of on the same page.
It's a good idea. However, name of the six main hosts, how many do you think actually show up?
Sedano
Who cares?
Cap always do.
Yeah.
Cap will. Sedano, I don't
Who
think
cares?
he
He
would
dressed
not
up as
show
Pat
up.
McAfee last year.
Right,
No, but he
on
would-
the same show that I
okay.
was on
Yes.
with Jimmy Butler for.
He would not show up to our costume
Well,
party.
if we did it like throughout the day, as like each show is going to
Sure,
be
no,
dressing
if
up,
we
and we
actually
made like a
went
contest
somewhere-
out of it.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
just make the host the judges. People do this kind of stuff. Like
Yeah,
that would be a cool way to go.
I'm all in on
That's
it.
where
I
I
like
am
it.
on Halloween. It's got to be coordinated. I like it to look good. It's not a slapdash affair.
Yeah,
in
I got
my
you.
opinion.
I got you. That's
Yeah.
kind of where I was going.
Anyway,
My suggestion suggestion was if we're all going to dress up as shows, which I guess we're not because neither of them are going to be here. I was like, we should all be like 80s wrestlers.
That's not a bad idea.
That'd be good.
Themes help.
Yeah.
They help everybody understand, everybody have fun without feeling goofy.
Laura's trying to get Mason and Ireland to dress up. Mason will not do it.
Why?
In the slightest. Because Mason hates Halloween and he hates joy.
Mason won't do it. He dressed up
he
like
hates joy.
Dumb and Dumber for the Mandy's.
Yeah, no. When it
Serious
comes to
about that,
Halloween,
though.
he doesn't do Halloween.
Oh, so
he hates Halloween.
I think I know why.
I don't do
I have a
Halloween.
theory as to why.
I don't know what the theory is.
I think the theory is that everybody's in costumes and it's harder for him to stand out.
And
that's not even a diss, but I mean that for real.
Wow.
Like in terms of his personality, like he's not going to be a part of everybody doing that nonsense. But if he's there and he's got the costume and nobody else really kind of does, that works well for how he interfaces. I actually think that's a reasonable reason not to wear costumes.
That could make up what Mason is thinking.
Let's make the wrestling costumes happen, guys. That'll be fun.
That'd be
Someday.
good for your show. Absolutely.
All right, that's it for Radio Tinder.
All right. We got a little bit of time, Clint. Can we get into a little bit of Lakers now?
Yes,
we have not gone to any Lakers
let's
yet.
actually do that. We have yet to talk about the Lakers. You were there at Crypto. What was the setup? Who'd you go with? What was the plan? How was it executed?
All right, are we going to break first? Yeah, we're going to break
On
first.
the other side.
So, thank you.
Park Party and Play at Hollywood Park Casino. Listen to Travis and DeMarco to win the ultimate game day prize pack. VIP tailgate passes plus game day tickets. Listen to your cue to call and don't miss your chance to win the ultimate game day experience. Park Party and Play with me at Hollywood Park Casino. Must be 21 and older to enter.
divorce and subsequent custody battle in the past, and I know that you need a team behind you to get the justice you deserve. My friend Mark Reel and his team at Real Fathers Rights are here to help you guys. Visit realfathersrights.com/710. That's REEL, realfathersrights.com/710, or call 323-870-1611. That's 323-870-1611. Real Fathers Rights, the Fathers' Rights Attorneys.
Park, party, and play at Hollywood Park Casino, LA's premier card room. Now open 24/7. Play no-bus blackjack, poker, and more. Enjoy Century Bar and Grill's flavorful menu for lunch or late-night dinners. Watch your favorite teams and catch up with friends on game days. Unwind and enjoy live music and crafted cocktails at Ray's Lounge. Easy parking and access, Hollywood Park Casino, located next door to the Forum and SoFi Stadium. Park, party, and play. Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Must be 21 and older to enter. These are approved DOJ games. Geico 004527. Geico 003871.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Inspired by Southern California's laid-back yet active lifestyle, Travis Matthew creates premium men's and women's apparel designed to make you look and feel your best no matter the activity. Now, Travis Matthew brings that same style to USC fans with their first ever collegiate collaboration. Designed with the iconic Cardinal and Gold, this collection carries the tradition and legacy of USC. Gear up for game days and style. New customers get 20% off their first order with code 710 at travismatthew.com. That's code 710. Offer valid online only.
At Children's Hospital Los Angeles, we're a nationally recognized leader in pediatric care, honored by U.S. News and World Report as one of the best in the country. Here, we achieve amazing breakthroughs that change lives. From groundbreaking cancer therapies that offer new hope to young patients, to advanced heart procedures that save lives, we partner with families to conquer challenges and achieve extraordinary outcomes. Choose the best care for your child at chla.org.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Check this out. The new iPhone 16 Pro built for Apple Intelligence. At Verizon, you can get it when you trade in any phone from one of their top brands.
Any?
Any.
Even if it's 4 years old?
Yeah.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk?
Yep.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk, then a scooter runs it over, so now it's not just old and cracked, but shattered?
With Verizon, the answer is always yes. Trade in any phone from one of our top brands for the new iPhone 16 Pro with Unlimited Ultimate. Plus, get a new iPad. Trade in terms apply. See Verizon.com for details. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Hey kids, Uncle Artie here from Pernia Law, here to tell you about our newest partnership deal with Matt Barnes, who has deep LA roots, former Bruin and pro basketball player for both LA teams.
If you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Pernia Law. That's 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
That's right. Call us or slip into the DM, Uncle.Artie.
Uncle Artie's not just my friend, but he's your uncle in the business. Artie Pernia is a seasoned personal injury attorney who works with you, so you receive the best possible compensation for your case. Let Uncle Artie and the Pernia Law family provide peace of mind, so you can focus on recovery and getting back to you.
If you've been injured in an accident or you're unhappy with your current injury attorney, come to Pernia Law. We take care of you like family. That's why they call me Uncle Artie.
Call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Pernia Law. That's 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station. This is the city, Los Angeles, California. It's 5 p.m. in the Southland. Turn it up, man. Time to blow that 5 o'clock whistle with Sedano and Cappy.
That's right, it's the 5 o'clock hour on Sedano and Cap. And it's time for 30 minutes non-stop.
Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN.
With fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks, and Cappy doing his thing, thanks to our friends at Real Father's Rights. Real Father's Rights, the father's rights attorney. Visit realfathersrights.com or call 951-482-7517. Let's do it, 5 o'clock in the Southland.
30 minutes of non-stop Sedano and Cap starts now.
You ready for this? And time for the Real Father's Rights 5 o'clock hour on 710 ESPN. Let's do it, Jack!
Are we supposed to do this? 5 o'clock hour. At the 5 o'clock hour, supposed to do it? Sedano in Hawaii.
Cappy in Hawaii.
Cappy in Hawaii. What did I say?
But
Sedano. Cappy is not in. Cappy's in Hawaii.
Sedano is driving down the 405.
Sedano's up the street.
Yes.
Because everybody from the network is into it.
Not listening to us.
Not listening to this program.
He is listening to something that has to do with the Clippers
He was
right
barely listening to this when we were yelling at each other over 4 voices during the segment that he was on.
He's often not listening to it when we're doing the show.
As soon as Clint was like, all right, thanks, and I was like, bye.
Yeah, he took that.
Gone.
Ejected
I'm out of here.
Right out of there, which I do not blame him for. That was a little chaotic. But we are here, and we have to, of course, get to something we've been trying to get to all day, but the fun and frivolity, thank you, Morales, has gotten in the way. You went to crypto last night.
I did.
Big night as far as the open. This is the night where everybody definitely wears suits to go to the opening night. To
Definitely
represent
noticed that.
on the first night. I saw that online. I was like, oh, wow, a lot of people suited and booted for this game. But what was it like? I mean, it was sort of an interesting, we can lay it out more so, but take me through it.
So it was just a really cool experience because I saw they have the new big scoreboard. First of all, that's up there now.
Okay.
It is gigantic. This thing is huge, and you see it's all big screens, but then everything else is kind of small, and it's like all of the stat lines at the bottom and at the top are all very, very small, and the video board is gigantic, so you can see it from everywhere. If you're up in the 300s looking down, you can very easily see what's happening. But it was a cool night. There's a lot of people there. Seeing Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. I thought was very, very cool to fly them out here so they could see the Bronny and LeBron stuff. But otherwise, the game itself it wasn't the most exciting game ever. Minnesota played pretty well. What's his name? Ant is incredible. He's incredible. He can hit from anywhere on the floor. But for the most part, I thought Anthony Davis was the best player on that floor.
Sure.
Period. End of story. The entire night. He did a little bit of everything.
Okay. Well, I think we can get to the basketball.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to do the basketball yet?
We can get to the basketball, but I need to know. You said you were with Cappy when there was
yeah.
a aborted mission regarding what you were trying to do with Pepe. The night
How did that get into it? Who'd you see?
So,
who were some of the stars in the building that weren't the Griffies?
No, so it wasn't them. So I wasn't really looking for the stars. I went around talking to people that I knew in in the press room, talking to Bill Ryder from CBS, Nikki Kay from Channel 1.
Nice.
A couple of different people, but we just walked around, and so what's his name? Carlo walked up to us and said, "Hey, Cappy, FaZe Clan is over there. I want you to go introduce yourself to the FaZe Clan." And he, not knowing who they were in any sense whatsoever.
Cappy just took that on face value. I'm just going to walk up to this group of dudes dressed like they are and just say my name.
It was legitimately, okay, cool, let's go do this. Okay. So when he walked up, shook their hands and said, "Hey, let's get a picture and let me get in the middle of you guys." Without any sense of anything else. Then
with
he
his famous finger point too.
He hit the point. I saw the point. Now that I think about it,
famous,
I saw the point.
You have to do it every single time. That's what he does. After that, we got through the whole FaZe Clan thing, and he talked to them and really did want to take the guy's grill and put it in his own mouth, which is disgusting.
So disgusting.
Yeah.
Like the idea of even suggesting that to another human being is foul.
It was very strange. So then we got through that, and I said, "Hey, look, on the other side of that stanchion is Shams Charania. So he is now a part of the ESPN family.
Absolutely.
Why don't you just go up there and introduce yourself?" So he's like, "Okay," and just walked right up to him, introduced himself, started talking about how he knows George Sedano and that he knows him from Miami. That Shams said, "Oh, I'm a Miami guy too," and there was a whole conversation about that. Now, the part that didn't get said was that after we walked away, Shams walked away because he's like, "Okay, I'm done with this conversation."
He's a busy reporter.
Yeah, constantly on his phone, and the three of them that he has. He walked up to him again, and I think tried to get his number. And I don't know if that actually worked out well. I didn't hear the whole story, but I'm pretty sure he said, "Hey, just real quick, can you think I can get
Why would he need Shams' number?
Because if he just wants to get him on the show or something along those lines.
So I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if he actually did ask for. I have to get it confirmed from Cappy.
Okay.
But he definitely did go back to him a second time, and I didn't hear what was talked about.
Okay. Well, that sounds like. Did you have a good time? Was it a fun night?
Absolutely. Laker games are always a fun time. It's
Yeah.
always a good time. So yeah, we went up. Then we tried to go up to and see John Ireland and Pepe. And then when they were supposed to do the whole wave to Pepe thing, we had already left the booth.
Okay.
So and as soon as we started hearing the announcements, I was like, "Cappy, we have to wave to Pepe."
It was too late.
It was too late. It was way too fast for all of that stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
No, it was a good basketball game. I liked seeing the behind the scenes from social media. I presume the Uncrustables are still in the press room.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
These are the important updates.
You got to get there early. You got to get there early.
because they're gone.
Yes, they're
Right.
gone. I got one.
Okay.
And it was the wheat with strawberry.
That's
and
a
it was-
solid one.
it
I
was a
prefer the
solid
grape,
one.
but yeah.
Yeah, I prefer grape too, but
Okay.
strawberry is always a solid choice. That was there.
That's extremely important to me. I'm very glad to hear that.
So did you get to watch the game
I watched
at
the
all
game.
itself?
I watched the game, and there's a couple of things I think, and I stated this on Around the Horn before because I think a lot of people, and this is something I've come to learn being here, and I don't want to say being around this team, but to an extent more so than people that aren't here. And I only mention that because the Bronny topic is such a big national topic that it is not in certain ways here. And part of the reason I feel this way is because, in fact, Windhorst was explaining this to me on ESPN Daily, which you can catch on the ESPN LA app, by the by. And he was like, dude, all that's happening here is they are trying to appease their year 22 star in every way possible simply to get the best basketball out of him, and Bronny is part of that. Like, the idea that it's some long-term scheme, nepotism this, nepotism that, like, first of all, nobody in any fan base in America knows who their team is picking with the 55th pick, period. I don't care how diehard of an NBA fan you are. So that argument, at least as some sort of a problem, is one thing. But when you think about it, between getting JJ, between picking LeBron, have we seen LeBron happier in our lives when he played for one team in specific? I think there's a big element of that, which I completely understand. You've got to make sure that he doesn't check out. Not that he would. Don't get me wrong. He's LeBron Raymond James. He's one of the fiercest competitors of his generation. But if you package Bronny into the idea of we've got to get the most out of 23, because, frankly, the West is somewhat wide open. If you take, I don't know, the Thunder off of the table, you don't know where anybody's going to finish. And so to give yourself half a chance, if this is the position you have to put yourself in as a team, I understand that. That makes it much easier to digest when you think about it more holistically. And that's sort of the lens through which I look through that last
Sure,
night.
and it's probably, and you're right, because look, he got his moment just in that first game alone.
Yeah.
He'll probably have, like we were saying, another moment in Cleveland as well. But besides that,
that's all you're really going to see of Bronny James.
Sure.
Because he's just not at the level that he needs to get any sort of minutes on this team. If guys like Max Christie are playing 11 minutes yesterday, and that's actually in the rotation, Bronny James doesn't have any business being in that, taking minutes away from anybody at that point. So he got his moment, got those 2 minutes. He had the one rebound where he was trying to get a putback, missed it. That was all he got.
Yeah.
Fine. You got your 2 minutes. Cool. Done. And you get a little bit of that. Then you go to the G League. The question that I have most of overall, it was, first of all, very cool moment. That's just something that makes him feel good about his team. LeBron getting that moment with his son.
Yeah.
If you could have that moment with your child at any point, you're going to take it and run with it. Now, when he gets to the G League, because that's where he's going, and that just makes sense.
Shouts to the South Bay Lakers.
There's a chance that he is not good enough to play in the G League. He is not good enough of a basketball player.
In terms of how he fits on the court with whatever their rotations are.
Sure, all those rotations. Because at the same time, he's still a 6'1" point guard that is just there for his defensive abilities. And all those guys are fighting and clawing and trying to get into the NBA. This is their livelihood. This is how they make their money. This is how they don't go over to Europe. They're trying to get to the NBA.
Right.
They're going to try. They are not going to try to lose minutes to somebody who is not as good as them. Now, what I wonder is, do the Lakers tell the South Bay Lakers, like, hey, he needs to get X amount of minutes, no matter what?
That's a good question. I mean, for me, there's not as much of the kind of basketball inappropriateness as I think a lot of people think. I think Bronny has become another sort of proxy by which people can make fun of LeBron because they just kind of don't like LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like, is anybody really arguing about the rotational minutes of their G League team who's a fan of the NBA? No. Absolutely not. Nobody's paying attention to that. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm just saying that, like, this seems like one of those deals where if one has a predilection towards having an issue with LeBron James, any of these kind of little things is going to say, oh, there it is, controlling everything because he thinks he's the man, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's not really what's happening. So at the G League level, who knows? You know what I mean? The South Bay Lakers don't necessarily, in my opinion, have any obligation to do anything other than just what they want to do. If they want to let LeBron James' son play a bunch of minutes so they can build whatever fan product they have, that makes sense to me. If there is a developmental component to the basketball as well, great. But let's not act like the basic idea of nepotism is so odious that we've all got to turn our nose up at it like it's unbelievable. This is America, Jack. Nepotism is part of the game when it comes to every single thing, and that's not always a problem. So that part of it I have deleted from my sort of rationale in all this. And I do think that the Cleveland game will be an interesting one because Cleveland is not remotely beholden to anything other than the James family. I think that will actually probably be a much better moment in terms of how the crowd deals with it. Not that it was bad last night. I thought it was excellent.
It was actually really good.
It was very classy in my opinion. You know, they did it the right way. It was sort of predictable when he would come in and come out. I just think that once it's
2 minutes in the second quarter.
Right, now that we've gotten here, and now that, like I said before, the stage is up and the lights are on, this seems like it was way overblown in terms of just how much this was going to affect, A, the team, and B, just everybody else who was watching.
Yeah, and by the way, they won, and it was the first time they've won an opening night's game in 8 years. So that was pretty nice to see. But at the same time, like, look, it won't be anything big unless he tends to start getting minutes when he's not supposed to be getting minutes, taking minutes away from guys like Dalton Connect and Max Christie and whoever else happens to be, Jalen Hood-Schifino even. And if they're if they're in the rotation, that's when it'll become a story again. But I don't think that's going to happen. He's going to be in the G League, and he's not going to spend very much time on a floor. I thought before the season that, he's going to be playing all the time. No. I don't think so anymore. No. I think they have aspirations that don't involve Bronny James.
Right, and I also think that the idea of looking at him playing minutes that he would be taking away from somebody else implies, quite frankly, a level of skill that this team just might not be at the privilege of having yet. I mean, they still got a lot of stuff to figure out. And I'm not saying that Bronny specifically, but, like, there's no world in which outside of, I don't know, AD, D'Lo, and LeBron that we're really knowing who's going to get what minutes because that team is not necessarily in a place to know exactly what's set, and that's fine. That's kind of the purpose of what an early season is, and that's where, for me, from a basketball standpoint, last night was a good game. You need AD to be the best player on the court in order to think you have a chance to be in that top half or even be, frankly, anywhere close to the playoffs. I mean, that's obvious to me. So it was a good game, I thought, from the Lakers. I thought the Timberwolves played a little bit of a stinker. You know? A little bit of a stinker.
Well,
we've been talking about what's going to be the odd team out in the Western Conference playoffs.
They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. The problem is that they brought in two guys in Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. I think DiVincenzo is going to be great for them.
Why is that? I'm not disagreeing with you, but what do you think he adds?
I think he's a good, smart player that can hit 3-pointers and make big shots. He is a very smart player.
I think he's a bigger loss for the Knicks than he is an add to the Timberwolves.
So he is a bigger loss for the Knicks. I think Julius Randle is a net negative for the Timberwolves. That was by losing Cat and bringing in Julius Randle.
That's what I'm saying.
He is a guy that he can bull you below. He can hit 3-pointers, but he also gets very, very lackadaisical on offense.
Yeah, he's a football player on a basketball
defense.
court.
Yeah, he is just not a guy that's going to play both sides, and that's what this team, Minnesota, is kind of built around. They want to be a big defensive team. They got rid of Cat, and now I think DiVincenzo will help them.
Yeah.
I just don't think that Julius Randle is the right fit for that team.
They will figure out the spacing. The Timberwolves will figure out the spacing. That was the biggest issue. They couldn't figure out the spacing. Randle was forcing a lot of shots.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
Though.
That's what Randle was doing. But when he was doing that with the Knicks, he had other guys that can create a bucket. The only other person on that team that can create a bucket was Anthony Edwards.
At least last
He's
night
amazing.
And that was the only person that was able to
general.
create a bucket. The Timberwolves, what they lacked is that they didn't have no offensive fluidity at all. Like the Lakers, what the advantage was that they were creating turnovers. The Timberwolves struggled in that first half because the Lakers wanted a turnover battle.
Defensive length was strong. Now let me ask you this though: to all of those points, if I said, what's the one team in the West that made the playoffs last year that might miss it this year? Do you not think Minnesota's on that list?
Clippers.
Okay, the Clippers are okay, but Minnesota, I feel like the Clippers were kind of out of it anyway.
I can't see Minnesota missing the playoffs.
Okay, I mean, let's think about this though. Before in March, the Mavericks, who made the Western Conference, who made the finals, were like in the play-in. Like there's the tight missing the playoffs doesn't make you a bad team in the West at this point because it's just so tight between the top and the bottom. I'm not saying that I think Minnesota's going to miss the playoffs, but I will say when I watched the game, I said, "Oh, this is what it will look like this season if for whatever reason, those organs don't take when it comes to the trade." That happens every once in a while where it seems like on paper it adds up. It seems like the talent level is there, but it just doesn't work for whatever reason. If I were a Minnesota fan last night, I would be very concerned about the blend at this stage.
So as long as they stay healthy, just like any team has to stay healthy. If they stay healthy, I think they're still going to be one of the top teams in the West. You just lost Cat, and Cat was injured most of his career with Minnesota. You're not really losing as much as some might think. He's obviously a big time player, 100%, but I don't think he's going to be good for the Knicks either. I think that's going to hurt them.
But the Timberwolves also have another big come off the bench. They have the sixth man of the year, Nas Reed. So when Julius Randle's not playing well, they can be able to have that mix. They have Nas Reed again. Remember, Nas Reed, when he was in there with Rudy Gobert, he had a lot. They still had the same spacing that Karl Anthony Towns. I think the Timberwolves will be fine. All they need to figure out is how the offense is going to be run when they have guys like that on the court.
Okay, but that's the monster if that I'm referring
to.
It
is a big if. But the Knicks figured out with Julius Randle before he got hurt with a shoulder injury. The Knicks were they
some
figured it
people
out.
thought that they were better without him or that he should come off the bench. That's why they dealt him. I mean, this is real. And I'm not getting crazy about this. I really do wonder. And the reason I bring this up, Greg, is because this would be good news for the Lakers. More largely.
Of course.
We're not living in a world where the Lakers can just say, oh, the best that we are is the best. No. You need some things to falter in order for the playoff positioning to really go as well as it could. And if a team like a Minnesota all of a sudden can't figure it out for half of a season, and I know I'm basing this off of one game, I understand that.
Yeah, the first game of the season.
The projection is important. I mean, that's you play the games for a reason, and I just feel that was a better game, quite frankly, than I thought the Lakers were going to play against that opponent. Definitely.
So now you're getting from the Lakers what you've been wanting for some time. You're getting they have the same guys playing together for multiple years in a row. They have the continuity, and they're starting to show. There's things that Rui Hachimura does when he's in the starting lineup that, frankly, cannot be understated. He's a guy that's kind of like Aaron Gordon for Denver.
His game has developed just enough.
It developed to the point where he is a guy that's going to go baseline, right? DeAndre, I see you shaking your head.
No,
right
I see.
Yeah. See, well, he's being like Aaron Gordon, where all he has to do is kind of like he hangs out.
Comp. Yeah.
He hangs out on the side, in the corner, goes baseline, and there's stuff there for him. He was crashing the boards. That was the one thing that I really liked. They were crashing the boards over and over and over
urgency
again.
on the glass.
Consistently, they played good defense, and we have a little clip from Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis was unbelievable last night.
Great game.
He did everything that you needed him to do, and did a whole bunch of things on the defensive side. And we have a clip when he was talking to Mike Trudell. Do you have that?
I mean, we know you've got the length, but the timing on those two blocks, is it about just identifying where the shot taker is going to be? It's defensive player of the year type stuff. Yes, it is. All right, and I agree.
He looks at the camera like smirking at the camera.
Taking a page out of Sabrina Ionesco's book.
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
He's saying, this is what I want this year. I want to be Defensive Player of the Year. I want people from day one to know that this is who I am. I'm the best defensive player in the game.
I'll tell you what. This is a situation where I think playing the Olympics helped that guy out a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like where he just looked like a different player. You know what I'm saying? And I think AD admitting that out loud, I think says more than just doing it. It's saying, I know I have to be that player.
Yep.
I can't just sort of act as if everybody should treat me that way. I've got to be proactive and do it first. Otherwise, it's not going to come. I think he's right.
He's right. And he did it right from the beginning, too. That's what I love the most of it. He's saying from game one.
Good game out of him.
Can I just point out one thing that, I mean, J.J. Redick obviously did a great job with the game plan, and the Lakers did a great job of attention to detail. But the biggest thing that he said is that he wants the Lakers to shoot more threes, right?
Sure.
Yeah. They did not shoot the three ball at all. So that's the biggest concern that I feel like is going in.
Strategically, you don't like that button.
I don't like that button as far as shooting threes because, I mean, if you're not hitting them, I mean, they shot, 5 for 30 or something like around there.
But I think what
great.
the point is there, though, is that you mentioned the spacing aspect. Like, just the modern NBA, that's pretty much how it is. If you're not shooting enough threes, you can't even avail yourself of some of those interior elements that you want to do in terms of action. And so for JJ, I think that's as much as, run the ball kind of thing. You got to establish that you're not predictable down to down, set to set. That's what that sounds like to me. I mean, some nights it's going to be better than others.
I don't want them forcing threes, but threes win games in this league now. But the fact is, like, if guys like Dalton Connect, if they can get their shot off and they're hitting multiple threes in these games, it's going to make a very big difference. D'Angelo Russell has to be the guy that is the guy that who he is.
Yeah.
And he has to be the guy he was towards the end of the year last year going into the playoffs, not in the playoffs.
I will tell you this, though, about Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect transferred from D2 to D1, and then he's going to the pros. His three-point percentage went up like 10% when he got to better competition. So if we're specifically talking about Dalton Connect, shoot the ball. He will get better. He will improve. He is the player that has proven that. That's why he was so good for Tennessee last year.
It was something like 1 for 3 in the game, but whatever.
That's fine.
Doesn't matter. That's first game. He's going to be a star for this team.
He has a green light if I'm J.J. Redick.
Sure, he does. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting because if he does start hitting it with regularity and he is starting to deserve more and more minutes, I think he played like 15 minutes last night. Who does he take those minutes from? Most likely it's D'Angelo Russell, right? And D'Angelo Russell has been a guy that since the day he came back to the Lakers has been on the trade block. So
yeah, but he's also said he's a little bit more motivated this year, a la an AD. He thinks it differently of himself.
Sure, but let's say, look, last night he was 1 for 7. Nobody could hit a 3-pointer to save their lives. But the fact is, if he's consistently missing his 3-point shot, and Dalton's Connect is hitting his, and they start kind of changing positions a little bit, and maybe he moves into the starting rotation, and D'Angelo Russell falls out of it. Do you start to move on from D'Angelo Russell?
I think that's a different discussion.
Where else does his minutes come from?
Here's what I'll say. First of all, I was right about Dalton Connect. He's transferred twice in college. He went from JUCO to D2 to D1. His shooting percentage from the three-point line went up every single time. I don't think that the talent level of this team is enough to be worrying about people taking minutes from each other if guys like Dalton Connect are doing well. That's just rotation play, in my personal opinion.
Sure.
Like, D'Lo, great. He says he's got a different attitude than when he was traded back here because he just feels differently about himself and he knows his role in the franchise a little better. I get it. But I'm not worried about young players, particularly a guy with the pedigree of Connect. Westside Connect, by the way, I prefer to Connect 4.
It's a great
Westside
name.
Connect is better than Connect 4.
That was strong.
Shouts to Snoop for that.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about a guy like that. That's not taking minutes to me. That is just what you're doing in terms of what your skill set is, because I just don't think that they have enough to go around and be worrying about who's playing so well that somebody else isn't playing.
So let's just look at the minutes real fast. So LeBron played 34, Rui 35, AD 37, D'Angelo 34, Reeves 36.
Yeah.
They were all over 30. Nobody else hit 20.
Okay, well, let's
Gabe
do the
Vincent,
math on
17.
that. Yeah.
Connect, 15. Jackson Hayes, 15. Max Christie, 11. And Bronny James, 2. That's it. You don't have very many minutes for these guys.
Well, I think the obvious math there is the minutes that come down have to be LeBron's.
No, that's not going to happen.
No, but listen to what I'm saying. Remember when LeBron first came here and he first agitated for AD to get here? The plan was for LeBron to sort of step aside while AD was the A. It didn't work out that way because A, LeBron is that good, and B, he was that durable. But think of it this way. If your team is really developing the way that you want it to, it is in fact ideal if LeBron can take maybe 5 to 7 minutes off of that workload each year and other guys can pick up the slack. That's not, in fact, a problem. Whether or not that develops or happens is a different matter. But if I'm doing that mental math and you ask me, where's it going to go? Well, the old guy who's on year 22 ideally would be the one who can sit, is what I'm getting at.
Ideally, you're right.
Yeah.
Ideally, that's the exact right thing to do. However, this happened last year with Darvin Ham, the very first game of the season. You're going to be on a minutes restriction. He went through one game and said, that's not happening anymore. I'm done with this minutes restriction after game 1. So the minutes are the minutes for LeBron are the minutes that LeBron wants to play.
I understand that, but I think that his stage of the career with your boy as the coach and your boy on the bench, I do think there's something to be said of if it's ever going to happen, that he's going to understand that that's a part of what's happening. If it's the case. Now, don't get me wrong. This is all talent-based. Sure. You're not just sitting LeBron to say sitting LeBron, but if Connect and D'Lo are going nuts and you just don't need him.
But that's what I'm saying. D'Lo
LeBron's
has
a smart
to
basketball player, too. He knew he had to be the best in order for any of this to work, hence the reason why he was overtaking guys. If it's plain for him to see that it doesn't really require him to do that much, I don't see a situation where he forces himself onto the court just because. I really don't.
No, I think he's going to be on the court as much as he wants to be on the court, and I think that it's actually good for D'Lo for this. That you have a young guy that's pushing you for minutes behind you. That has the green light to shoot whenever he wants because he's got a really quick shot. He catches he catches it up high, shoots it right away. Right. It's a very quick release. So he has that guy pushing him behind him that he has to be able to continuously hit his shot and play a little bit of defense too. Otherwise, he has a guy kind of pushing him. I think that's good for him that he has to start hitting those shots.
Let me tell you something else. I love like white quarterbacks in the NFL who are, down with the cause, as we like to say. I love the colonizers used to be my fantasy football team. Dalton Connect is that dude, though.
Oh, yeah.
I love him. Like, forget the bat. I love that guy. The way he played at Tennessee, he would dunk on your head and tell you about it, which is my kind of basketball when it comes to dudes like that. He's from he's from Fargo. People know about Fargo, that it's a crazy movie where white people kill each other. They don't know nothing about no basketball in Fargo. Movie. And this dude's coming in with a nickname and a little bit of a look and the game to prove it. I don't know that I've liked the Lakers as much as Dalton Connect since I've lived here. I'm not even being funny here. This guy's going to be great. I'm so looking forward to this.
By the way,
Caruso is a similar vein. Don't get me wrong.
What about Reeves? Don't feel that way with Reeves?
Not really. Dalton Connect.
Hillbilly Kobe?
The thing is, I like him. I actually think he's a better basketball player by a lot of measures. Yes. But I think also because the way that Connect came to be in college made him a lot more impressive. That team made a pretty deep run in the tournament, too. Like, he knew how to be the best player on his team, which is not something that always is the case with college guys. Some college guys are kind of raw talent or they're just kind of good, and you think, okay, well, when they get to the next level, that dude was a package player from jump when he got to Tennessee, and that's what I like about him. That dude is going to be very popular.
Do you think there's anything to be told about it? Because a bunch of dudes passed on him. A bunch of teams passed on him.
Yeah, Barkley
was
talking about that.
Yeah, he went 17 to the Lakers because he was the older guy. The Lakers didn't take Jaime Jaquez last year because he was the older guy.
By the way,
a massive mistake, 100%. Also, but I would also argue it's a weird argument. I don't think Jaquez would be Jaquez in LA, the same guy that he is in Miami.
I don't disagree, but that says more about the organization than it says about Jaquez.
No, yes,
for sure.
It does say a lot more.
Go on though. I see your point about the older guy.
But now it's the older guy. Like it was a mistake for all these teams to pass on him, and now he's coming in. You're saying he was ready to be the best players team at Tennessee. He's ready to come into an NBA team as a really good player.
I think the logic is the same. It's literally the same as Jaquez. Like, I was blown away when Jaquez didn't get picked. Yeah. And I'm sure the Heat were sitting there like, are we serious? Are you seriously going to let a 4-year starter at a legacy school like UCLA fall to us? I remember the day that he had that monster game in the playoffs or whatever it was in the play-in. And I was like, I remember saying, we were on TV that day, I said, this is going to be the Jaquez game. He went nuts. And I was like, yes, we've seen him do this. I don't know what some NBA executives are thinking. And this gets back to something I say all the time. This is hard. It's not as easy a job as a lot of people think it is. And the Lakers, frankly, are a franchise that has been as overthinking as any other in the league for the last 5 seasons, getting back to why Caruso and the likes are not still here. A lot of teams overthink things. A lot of teams overthink things, Berg, and I think this is one of those situations. Age is a factor, sure, and maybe some level of injury history. If you're too high in the draft, you don't want to give that much money, okay, but like, that dude has been a baller. actually commend the Lakers for not making that mistake twice in a short amount of
100%. When he was there at 17, there was no other choice but to take him. He's the type of guy that you need on this team, a guy that has that dog in him that people like to talk about all the time, and he also can just shoot threes and from anywhere, and he can get to the hoop, and he can dunk on your face, like you were saying. Like there were so many things that he does so well. He probably needs to get better at defense.
He went from the Northern Junior College, Northeastern JC Plainsman, to the Northern Colorado Bears, to the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, and became a star.
And
he has the chance to.
He has to prove it. He's a grinder. That is something that I like about his game. It's not just because he's a white dude that I'm calling him a grinder either. He literally has been to 3 different schools.
For him. He's a grinder.
It's great. Anyway, what did you think? And I think this is an important thing too, and this might have been actually largest takeaway from the evening. JJ Redick was fantastic.
He was great.
Fantastic. And I'm not just talking about X's and O's. I'm not just talking about rotations. He so knows what he's doing in this job. I am stunned he did not get a job earlier. I get it. There was a lot of talk about, you're bringing the podcast buddy on for this, that, and the third. He's in the huddle actually calling up plays, not just dropping ad-libs like he's on a daggone DMX track in the middle of a timeout. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I am. But, there is a likability to him that I didn't necessarily know was going to be there. I'm not a huge JJ Redick guy in the sense of, I always thought he was a great ball player. I've also sort of known about JJ Redick ever since he was in high school because he's from Chesapeake, Virginia. So, he's had a reputation ever since I was playing high school basketball. But, man, is he good in that spot and knows how to handle it.
In the nicest way possible, he's a basketball nerd. He is just a guy that loves the sport and understands it and knows can draw a place. He was your buddy in high school that was just drawing up football plays over and over again and doing nothing else but doing that. He understands the game. So when he's in the huddle, LeBron, who's going to be 40 years old in just a little bit, is actually watching him,
listening
to him. Yeah. He doesn't do that with very many people. Maybe he did it with Ty Lue, but that's probably about it. So he's actually sitting there listening to him, and he trusts what he has to say because he understands by doing that podcast with him that he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That he's actually a smart basketball mind. So having that type of guy in there, and is going to actually play with the minutes and play with the different rotations, he knows what he's doing.
I think there's another element to this that's hard to describe, but I'm going to try to do it now. There's a certain gravitas that comes with being a part of the Lakers organization, period. There's another level that comes with being the head coach. And in certain circles in the NBA, there's guys that approach a gig, even if they're kind of first-time guys, no matter what city they're in, that are like, I know what I'm doing. That's what the permanent sort of opening statement is. They come in, they're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then there's other guys that are like, well, we'll figure it out with what we've got here. And then there's other people that just kind of don't do a lot of barking. And I feel like I don't know what I thought I was going to get from JJ, but he seems to have a level of critical thinking on the fly and adjustments that are not even just basketball related, but in terms of personality where you're thinking, oh my God, he actually gets it. You are not up here to just grandstand and tell everybody how smart you are and how the Lakers are never going to have a problem ever again, because that would be foolish, and we've seen a lot of people do that. There is some level of humility to the product where he understands that things have to be built. Things have not gone not just as well as the standard is, but as well as pretty much any team in the NBA has in terms of figuring out what they're doing. He seems like he actually is earnest about the task at hand and is not just there to make himself or just the franchise or just his friends look good. I haven't seen that across the NBA in a long time, period. Never mind with a franchise with as many mirrors that they look at themselves in as the Lakers.
So basically what you're saying is he's not going to be standing on the sidelines with his hands in his pockets like some people used to do last season.
You sound like the COT. The COT cannot stand Hamon standing there with his hands in his pockets. No,
so his hands are going to be out of his pockets for most of the time.
Body language is better for me on a basic level. But you know what I'm saying?
No,
it seems like he
understands.
He
does understand
what it takes to do the job, but he's also not acting like he's cooler than everybody else for having the job.
I also feel like he's in the game at all times. Like he knows how many timeouts he has left. He knows where he is on the clock. He knows what he needs to do for certain things. Like here's the right time for this timeout. Here's the right time to pull this guy and bring this guy in. He has an understanding of how the game should flow, and that's a huge part of making a good coach.
I would go so far as to say that it's in fact probably more important than X's and O's right now when it comes to this Lakers team.
It's flow because
Can
they've been
you
together.
Handle the gig A, flow, as you mentioned, 2, and 3, do you look like you have any idea what you're doing? Right. Optics are a factor, and he passed that test with flying colors. I really do believe that. J.J. Redick has made a little bit of a fan out of me.
What did we say wrong, DeAndre?
No, everything sounded good. No, for real. It did.
He took notes, by the way, yesterday.
I did take some notes yesterday. I did take some notes.
You got some game notes?
I sat down, watched the game over here in the conference room.
Okay.
I had to take some notes.
See,
what I mean?
You know where I learned to do that? College.
Yeah,
I wasn't drinking in the crowd. No, I do think, though, that last night, and again, it's a little bit hyperbolic because obviously it's just one game. It's also just the first game. But
hey, they're 1-0.
All the things you could want to see beyond just the number, I thought were there. And that's the kind of vibe you want out of this team. You don't want the feeling of blaming or denial or whatever. It just felt like accountability has returned to the building in a major way.
It did, and it also felt like they played defense. They rebounded. Yep. They attacked the boards. There was things that there was movement at times on the offensive end that you were not seeing in years past. It just looks like with the same players, a totally different team.
Funny how that
there was a viral clip that was going around there was a comparison between J.J. Redick and Darvin Ham, and there was a clip that was Darvin Ham was in the huddle. He's like, "Hey man, you guys we gotta play harder. You got this, man. Only a couple minutes left. Salute."
That's what I told you. Ad-libs from DMX songs.
And then there was J.J. Redick who was like, "Hey, great job doing attention to detail. Keep going on our scouting report. Keep attacking, keep rebounding. And keep winning the turnover battle." So it's like you can tell the difference between how the way he communicates with his players.
Yeah, verbalization is an important thing. And especially in the modern NBA, where the idea of just being a tough guy just doesn't work for a lot of players this day and age. I think J.J. Redick has a good inside track because also, it's the last thing I'll say about this. This could have been a real problem. You never know. When the lights turn on and the stage goes up, that's the 4th time I've said that in this show, some people just don't have it. And you didn't know he's never done it. So it was a risk inherently, but it seems like a smart one they made.
Yep. He had other offers at other places, and he decided to wait, and he took the Lakers job because he thought that was the right spot for him.
Smart man.
It was a smart man because if you can make it with the Lakers, you can do it anywhere.
Also, J.J. Redick, fantastic hair, extremely important. He's Greg Bergman. I'm Clinton Yates. It's Sedano and Kap on ESPN 710 Los Angeles.
The black and gold are back in the playoffs, and ESPN LA wants you to be there too.
Hey, football fans, there is nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. But Stella Rosa wants to make it even sweeter and hook you up with the chance to win an experience to the biggest game of the college football season. You could win 2 tickets to the game, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. Head over to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter the Dream Ticket Sweepstakes presented by Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Please celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
To be in the contents handling business, moving homeowners' belongings to a safe place for restoration and storage. Some of them were experts in hazardous materials handling, like asbestos and lead testing. That was their daily work. And some of them were members of law firms handling bad faith claims and general business disputes. You see, diversification is the name of the game. When you are represented by Avner Gatt's team, you have the entire team's experience and know-how by your side. No one, and I mean no one, messes with Avner Gatt and his team. So call Avner Gatt right now, 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256. That's AvnerGatt.com, AVNERGAT, AvnerGatt.com. When you call him directly, Avner Gatt and his family, they take the calls themselves. Avner Gatt says, hello.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Hey, what up? It's Matt Barnes here. If you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Pernia Law.
For me, it's about getting the top result and the top value for your claim. Even if you didn't have insurance during the accident, Uncle Artie will still help you. I'm sure a lot of you out there got turned back from attorneys when you said, I don't have insurance. Well, guess what? Uncle Artie can still help you. It does not matter. Give us a call. You have nothing to lose. We take the case on a contingency. You don't pay up front.
Uncle Artie's not just my friend, but he's your uncle in the business. Artie Pernia is a seasoned personal injury attorney who works with you so you receive the best possible compensation for your case. Let Uncle Artie and the Pernia Law family provide peace of mind so you can focus on your recovery.
Trust us, trust Uncle.
When you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Pernia Law, 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check that your guests like spicy first before serving Atomic Hot Wings.
Who's hungry? Oh my gosh. What are these?
You don't like them? Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Water.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
How is that related?
On 710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap here on a Wednesday. Greg Bergman, Clinton Yates. I believe it is time.
Big deal, no deal.
For Big Deal or No Deal, Liz.
That is correct. I like how I like your version of that, Clinton.
What'd you say?
I like your version of that.
You can
It's
clip
got some
that.
style.
Use it every time as far as I'm concerned.
I like that. All right, guys, so Big Deal or No Deal time. We're going to do a little sports, NFL stuff we haven't gotten into yet.
All right.
Great.
One of which is my sad and lowly Browns. I know that
Oh,
the general
God.
public doesn't care
Two
about the
Cleveland
Browns.
alerts in the same hour?
What was the first one?
Was there one this hour?
I thought it was
The
like
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was last hour.
That was 2 hours ago.
Sorry.
We almost done here. So anyway, Greg Bergman is a Oakland Raiders fan, and they're
Vegas.
in a really
Vegas Raiders.
Sorry, they're in a really bad quarterback situation themselves.
A little bit.
Because Gardner Minshew, we still don't know if he's going to start yet, right? They haven't.
I assume he is.
Okay.
With Desmond Ridder behind him.
Right. So.
Yeah, yikes is right.
So the Cleveland Browns are also in a bad quarterback situation now that Deshaun Watson has torn his Achilles and is going to be out for a significant period of time.
Just to be clear, they were in a bad quarterback situation
They
the
were.
second he walked through the door.
You're right.
Yeah, while he was still
They've,
playing.
they've never not been in a bad quarterback situation,
Exactly. There's
really.
that too, right.
So anyway, Jameis is going to be starting
Yes,
on
sir.
Sunday.
Knick-knack, this, that, paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
Sir, yes, sir.
Big fan of Jameis.
30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
Jameis robbed me of a double to the gap in the celebrity softball game at Rickwood. I'm still mad about it. Anyway, God, he's a good player.
So I was going to ask you guys, with a lot of quarterbacks kind of going down earlier than people thought, also Aaron Rodgers not looking out to be what he was supposed to be.
He stinks.
Instead of asking you guys, big deal or no deal, if Justin Fields came available, do you think that he would go to any of those three teams? The Jets, the Browns, or the Raiders?
This is a really good question.
Do you think any of those teams would take a flyer on him?
Okay? So let me think about this in two different ways. What is his contract situation? Like, is he available to go somewhere else after this season?
He could
Let's
also be
figure that out.
traded.
Oh, he could be traded.
Yes, he
so,
can be
Because they don't need him. If Russell Wilson...
okay, so this is where
Russell Wilson actually looked competent.
He did.
They're
and
sticking
Mike
with
Tomlin
Russ.
was the only man in America who thought that. But Russell Wilson also clearly can't get the ball downfield. Don't try to tell me he's throwing Hail Marys to guys 40 yards
He had a couple good ones to Pickens.
And he has something to fire
Again, though,
Yeah.
he can't throw it as
looked
far
bad.
as he wants to, which is separate from whether or not he's getting it far enough for the play.
When have the Steelers been able to do that anyways, though?
That's, again,
Justin Fields wasn't doing that
this
either,
is
by the
all
way.
of the things we're playing into. And the question becomes, do you trade Fields not because you can get somebody that's going to play right now, but so that you can get somebody that's going to quickly replace Wilson when that goes away for the Steelers. Can you get enough for Justin Fields? This is sort of a separate discussion than would he play for somewhere, but how much do you think you could get for him?
Not very much. I think it was like a third-round pick that they got.
Okay,
from
Russell Wilson was a third-round pick.
No. I mean, so when they traded to Chicago something like a third or fourth-round pick.
Right.
They didn't get a lot for him.
Okay.
So if you do trade him, you're not getting much for him there too. You're not getting a quarterback back for him. You're getting a fifth-round,
but
sixth-round
you don't need
pick.
one because you have.
Russell
right,
Wilson.
but I would think, okay, so
if he does come available, I don't think the Jets would take him because they're going to stick with Aaron Rodgers.
The Jets
till the
are
end of it.
They're going
to
crash the Titanic instantly. Yeah.
I don't think the Raiders will go after him just because I think at this point they're now going into full tank mode. And I think the Browns are going to be about the same, right?
I think if they're not, they should be.
So the team that does not
win.
need to be in tank mode is the Browns. They were the best of those teams going into the season, arguably with the higher expectations, in my opinion. People thought the Jets were really good, but the Browns' defense was excellent to the point that people were willing to ignore the Deshaun Watson factor, which is crazy to me. That bit them in the behind karma-wise.
Well, they made too many changes for it to. It's done. They changed the offense. Now it's terrible.
But I think the Browns also have a bigger problem in whatever's going on with the coach and the owner. Like, why were they playing that dude so long anyway?
It's the owner. The owners are forcing the front office and the coach to play him. And look what they did last year. They blew things up because they wanted to change the offense to suit Deshaun Watson. And it's like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, the Panthers or like even Jerry Jones to an extent, like the meddling owner is controlling what's going on, and there's nothing he can do about it. It's like, you want to complain, that's fine. You can get fired and you'll probably get another job somewhere else, but I'm sure for now he's probably just like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Ash Bernistan levels of nonsense. Yeah.
Deshaun Watson's making $200 million or something crazy like that in guaranteed money. How do you not play that guy? No matter how bad he stinks. I get it.
He's terrible.
I get it. He's terrible.
At this point, it's worth cutting.
Right.
Fine, but then you're going to have to pay him all of that money.
You're going to have to pay him the money anyway.
Yeah, if he sucks,
that's on you, bro.
I agree. I 100% agree with you, but that is, as an owner of a team that is paying a guy $200 million, they're going to play the guy that's making $200 million.
I guess. You get your own socks wet, you got to walk in.
And who else are going to put behind him? DTR? Like, come on.
He played?
DTR is not a good quarterback.
I didn't say that he was. I said he played. That's all I'm getting at, is that we didn't know what he was going to look like until he got back out there.
I watched that dude at UCLA for 4 years.
Okay.
I know.
Were you drunk in the crowd or were you in the press
I wasn't.
Got him!
Yes, I probably was drunk in the crowd because that's the only way to watch a UCLA football game.
That's a good point. Only way to get through it.
Same with the Browns.
I do think that's a fascinating question, because the question becomes, does Fields have enough to put a team over the top?
I'm sorry, but if I'm Justin Fields, why would I want to leave a team that is 5-2?
I tend to agree with that
and
part
leading in the division.
I wouldn't want to go.
Well, I mean, he was.
What if he
hold on.
Start somewhere else.
Mike Tomlin always says that Justin Fields, we have been very pleased with what he's been able to do for us and getting us to that point before Russell Wilson started. He's like, but if I'm Justin Fields, I will always stay ready. Yeah. And no matter what, you always have to stay ready.
100% agree with you. However, if the team trades you, you have no say over that.
I'm saying, why would I want to go play for the Jets when it's a disaster over there?
They
fired a head coach in the middle,
in the
middle of the season.
These are two separate discussions. The point is that I don't think Justin Fields is the kind of guy, to DeAndre's point, that is itching to get somewhere to start.
Absolutely.
I don't actually think that's in his personality. I think he knows he's learning, too, from a Russell Wilson in terms of what happens after Russ is done. It's not like Russ is going to be playing until he's 43 like Tom Brady. That's not happening.
No.
You know what I'm
This
saying?
is basically like his last
This is pretty much it.
He's got another year or two,
if you're
maybe.
Fields, although this is a good question, the answer I would say would be the Raiders, man. I think that he is competent enough to make a Raider team decent, because Minshew looked god-awful.
So did Aiden O'Connell. So Desmond Ritter
God-awful.
By the way,
wouldn't you rather have him over Desmond Ritter?
Before the season started, I would have loved to have Justin Fields, 100%. However, now where they're at now, where they're 2-5 in a division that has Mahomes playing terribly and still has that team at 6-0, you're not winning the division. You're not making the playoffs.
Okay.
So at that level, why win? It doesn't make any sense. You don't want to be in the middle. You want to either be at the bottom or the top.
Let me ask this to you in a different way. What would you be tanking for specifically from a position standpoint?
To get to a quarterback.
So you are tanking for a quarterback.
For a quarterback,
even though the team.
Jalen Milroe.
You think that Jalen Milroe's that good?
I think he's pretty good. I think he'd be a
good
one.
You think he's better than Justin Fields?
So, yes, I do think he's better than Justin Fields.
Okay,
I think
this is a different
Shedeur
discussion.
Sanders is another one that you can go
Shedeur
after.
Sanders is on the table. I get it. But unless you're specifically got a guy, Greg, I don't know
Quinn
that
Ewers could be the guy. There's a bunch of dudes that are out in there. Look,
If you've got faith in the draft class, I respect that. I was just wondering.
So, yeah, because look, it happens. Look what happened in Washington. All you needed was just a one quarterback. You get the quarterback.
But you got to have surrounding pieces around the quarterback.
He was a Heisman winner.
So if you get a guy like Shedeur, who is going to be throwing the ball to? Jacoby Myers? No disrespect. But the only guy you guys really have is
Jacoby Myers.
is Brock Bowers. And Brock Bowers is a tank. He's a great. You guys did really well in the draft class at getting Brock Bowers. But I'm saying, like, you can't. You got to have surrounding pieces around.
The Raiders are very, very far underneath the cap, so they can go out and get they can fix the offensive line. They can bring dudes in. They can bring in a lot of people and you have offensive weapons at that point because your defense, as long as Max Crosby stays and you don't trade him, your defense will be good with Crosby and Wilkins and Diablo. You got a team there.
I think this is just a philosophical difference as to whether or not you think your team should get the quarterback first or the quarterback last. And in this case, I think if you're the Raiders, getting a guy like a Fields allows you to do other things and then find your quarterback. If nobody's that standout, to me, that's when you do it the other way around. That's just a personal football philosophy in terms of roster construction.
Look, if you can get Justin Fields and try to develop him, who's going to develop him, though? Antonio Pierce? Antonio Pierce is probably not going to be here
Then maybe get a new coach.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
You know what? By going for it, by kicking a field goal down 8 against the Rams with 2 minutes left, that's a fireable offense.
Pointing at me like I did something wrong.
It was your
fault.
fault.
By the way, speaking of Shedeur Sanders, as somebody who, again, my team's in a very similar situation as Greg's, I feel like you need to be like a good, strong, solid organization with like a veteran coach to coach that guy. You can't throw him into like the organizational mess of like the Browns or the Raiders because I just feel like that's not. With his dad chirping and everything, like he may be a great quarterback, but I just don't think that's the best situation.
I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, as they say on the internet. What if his dad is the coach?
Oh, so Dion comes. Shedeur
That's probably
comes.
even worse.
I mean, what has he actually won outside of
our hearts and minds? Yeah. That's what he's won.
Look, it would fit the Raiders so well.
That's a total Raiders move.
Yes. But that's not what I want.
1,000%.
We need to move away from that world. We're not in that world anymore.
Wednesday, October 23rd, Clinton's calling it Shedeur and Dion to the Raiders.
That's why I whispered it. Anyway.
I can see it. I can totally see it.
Oh, there it is. Can you imagine Dion coming out to this with the black and the white? Bringing back the old school sweaters?
I can see it.
We're just a joke. Is that what it is? The Raiders is just a joke?
Let me tell you something. Travis Hunter got it.
I mean, anyway. Dealer's Choice coming up next. He's Greg Bergman. I'm Clinton Yates. This is Sedano Kap on ESPN 710.
Hey, football fans, what's better than cheering on your team with an ice-cold glass of Stella Rosa in hand? How about scoring the ultimate experience at the biggest college football game of the season with an ice-cold Stella Rosa in hand? That's right, Stella Rosa is giving you the chance to win 2 tickets, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. So what are you waiting for? Head to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter. Courtesy of Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Paid for by Cars for Kids.
Hey, it's Travis.
And DeMarco.
Hey, accidents can be shocking, devastating, and difficult to deal with, which is why you should never deal with them alone and have family on your side.
Joseph S. Normand and his trusted team are family, and they're here to help you achieve the maximum compensation you deserve.
You know, when my son was in an accident, we called Joseph at 213-747-2000, and he was able to help.
You have many choices in a legal team, but family always comes first.
Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand.
This is the Doctor in the Dugout with Dr. Alan Byer, presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
I'm often asked about people who suffer their first back injury, think they've pulled a muscle in their back, and they don't stretch enough as far as their back is concerned. So when do you seek care from a doctor when you've sustained a back injury? At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, we like to tell people that the most important thing is to watch and see if that back pain is radiating down your leg, causing any numbness, causing any weakness, or any bowel or bladder dysfunction. These are surgical problems usually and require a more urgent visit to the emergency room rather than waiting to see the doctor. If none of these signs are present, it's safe to wait it out, rest for a few days, and seek medical care from your doctor within a week or so. Hope that helps. Keep stretching your back. If that doesn't get better in a week or 10 days, that's when it's time to seek the orthopedic specialist. Hope this keeps you on the field, and keep listening. We'll be back soon.
Keep listening for more on the road to recovery right here on 710 ESPN.
Are you ready to unleash the beast?
Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. For instance, TCU walked into the locker room at halftime in the 2016 Alamo Bowl, down 31-0. The Horned Frogs stormed into the second half and erased a 31-point deficit to force overtime, and eventually won it in the third overtime, 47-41.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Check this out, the new iPhone 16 Pro built for Apple Intelligence. At Verizon, you can get it when you trade in any phone from one of their top brands.
Any?
Any.
Even if it's 4 years old?
Yeah.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk?
Yep.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk, then a scooter runs it over, so now it's not just old and cracked, but shattered?
With Verizon, the answer is always yes. Trade in any phone from one of our top brands for the new iPhone 16 Pro with Unlimited Ultimate. Plus, get a new iPad. Trade-in terms apply. See Verizon.com for details. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Sedano and Kap, Bergman and Yates, coming to a close here on a Wednesday. It's time for Dealer's Choice. Of course, brought to you by Seller's Advantage. You want to sell your house? Before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. They'll buy it as is with a competitive cash offer, no repairs needed. They make selling easy. Call 888-390-AS-IS for a no-obligation offer or visit sellersadvantage.com, DRE number 01961658. Okay. Lindsay, I need you to do something for the people. Can you please show them what shoes you are wearing to the camera and the people on the YouTube?
I have my basic Panda Dunks on.
You're wearing your Panda Dunks. For those of you who don't know what they look like, they're black and white. They resemble
most famous dunks,
a panda, the most famous ones. Some
Everybody
might
has
say
a pair.
they're a little played out. Everybody, including you know who? The entire Lakers coaching staff.
Were they all
They
wearing them?
all wore them last
Maybe
night.
they did it on purpose.
Pictures of them?
JJ Redick and outfitted the squad with the Panda Dunks. And I couldn't decide.
Is that right?
Is this corny because these are so well worn in terms of style, or is this kind of cool? JJ showing a little knowledge, D.
It's adorable.
Of what's going on out there.
Matching Nike Panda
Told you.
Dunks.
What do you think, DeAndre?
I mean, Panda Dunks, everyone has a pair.
He's making that.
No, they do.
Look at this.
Everyone has a pair of Panda Dunks, but I rock them. I wear them to work, so there's no shame in wearing Panda Dunks at all. I mean, it's just not a shoe that like people go out their way because they made so much of them.
Right.
Yeah, they're great looking shoes. I would like a pair. I've actually been
So
looking
now
for,
you want to get a
The
pair?
one at Nike app, they're actually available right now.
Are
on
they
the
actually
Nike app.
available? Every
You won't
time I
buy
go
them
there?
right
No.
now on air. You won't do it.
I don't have. Don't test me.
They have actually a sale right now, and like dunks
I got the
are
sneakers
usually,
app. Can I get off the sneakers app?
If you can manage to buy a pair of Panda Dunks before we get out of the show, you should be JJ Redick for Halloween. That's what should happen. That's also not a bad idea.
How would he convey that, though?
Then I
wear a JJ Redick jersey. What are we doing? He's a basketball player.
Yeah,
he's much better looking.
You should get the Duke jersey.
No. You do that bit inside of here. You do not take that bit to the street. You do that for the cameras, for the people on the YouTube app, all of the genius minds that are constantly contributing in the chat on YouTube, just some of the most intellectual people we have, in our community. I'm joking, but yeah, you do it for here. You could do a station costume. That way you don't have to do a streets costume.
Were they the regular Panda Dunks, or were they like the reverse ones that are like newish?
I didn't see that.
These look like they're
definitely the bait. I think they had the regular ones.
Yeah, the regular.
Well,
it is everybody.
Question.
Yeah.
Which move is better, I guess? JJ Redick buying his coaching staff all Panda Dunks, or Mike Tomlin buying the entire Steelers team black Air Force Ones?
Way better black Air Force Ones.
Black Air Force One energy all day long. The dogs are coming out. The dogs are coming out. When you have black Air Force energy, just know that you're a force to be reckoned with. You better stay away from anyone who has black Air Forces
Let me
on.
tell you what.
Do you have a pair of black
You have black Air
Right.
Forces, and when I have them on, just know I mean business.
You know what Panda Dunks are? Those are every other 15-year-old at Flognaw. That's what that is. That is a very different message. Although
my daughter's asking me for a pair of Panda Dunks, by the way.
Let's go.
She's been asking them for a
That's
while.
what I'm saying.
I'm gonna get her
Separately, though, I do like this because it adds a little element of style to coaches, because this is one of my long-time rants about the NBA. The zip-ups and sweatsuits have to go.
No, stop it.
I don't need suits.
Stop it.
Listen, I don't need suits at all. I don't want suits. I don't wear suits. I don't wear suits anywhere. I just need more style. The all gray, all black, everybody's looking like Cobra Kai. Boring. Boring.
Cobra Kai all day long.
That's fine.
Let them wear what they want. Who cares what they're wearing?
Again,
they're coaching
it's
basketball players.
I care. Because I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
It's an entertainment
You're not
product.
watching them.
Go
You're
look
watching
up,
the players.
Go look up Jack Ramsey. Go look up all these
I don't
old
care
what
what they did
were
back
wearing
then.
wacky bell bottoms.
Jackson. Go
Jack.
look at
You
Rick
are not
Pitino. All these
75
guys.
Pat
years
Riley
old.
is famous because of the clothes he wore.
I don't
beyond
care.
the basketball. He literally was a style icon.
Why
it
are
happened
you
to be
paying
suits.
attention to what the coaches are wearing, period?
Because I'm the
Who
president
cares?
of the local chapter of the Handsome Man community. Walks directly into that one. But I'm saying, I think that the uniform look for coaches, and by uniform I mean the adjective, not the noun. It's an opportunity for people to be more expressive that they don't use. That is annoying. I don't need suits. I don't like suits. Don't get me wrong. But I did like this little pop, if you will, of flavor from JJ.
See, there you go.
JJ did say that, he said on the air he was wearing slacks because he was asked about like the whole
Sure, the
sweatpants.
getup,
He said,
yeah.
well, these are actually
Those
slacks.
Those don't look like slacks.
And then
they look like sweatpants.
Well, they look like them, but they're like those
Stretchy jobbies you got from H&M.
leisure slacks.
$14.
The other thing, looking at the pictures and the videos of all the coaches, and they're all black, like Lakers get-ups on the sidelines, I think it looks awesome.
It does.
It looks nice.
Don't get me wrong. To me, it's like what you do on the road. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wears the same deal. Business attire, and by attire I don't mean again suits. I just mean this is a business trip. But I need a little bit more style from these NBA coaches. I know these guys have it. I need to see the sleeve tattoo. I need to see all of that.
The last thing I care about is what coaches are wearing on a basketball floor.
Again.
If you want to wear a suit, cool, wear a suit. If you want to wear the jacket and take it off and throw it around, cool, do it. Slam it on the ground.
If Riley walked
Don't
into
care.
this room right now, you wouldn't have the stones to say that
I'd
to
say
him
absolutely I would. Why would I
whatsoever.
care? Why would I
Not
care
buying.
saying that to Pat Riley? It doesn't matter who you are.
He's
Wear what
Greg
you want.
Bergman. I'm Clayton Yates. Lindsay's here. DeAndre, everybody, thank you all for listening. It's Sedano and Kap on ESPN 710. Rams